friends. Welcome to another talk with Liem. For those of you listening, we also have a YouTube, and those of you watching on YouTube, we also have this via podcast audio only if you want to get that on any of the major podcast platforms. If I'm not on your favorite platform, let me know. Today, oh wait, I'm not supposed to, I screwed that up. I'm your host, Liem. I am Jesus.
I'm just going to stare at your head to make it more uncomfortable.
I am your host, Liem. I am a software engineer. I have a degree in computer networks, and my sidekick is...
Dun, dun, dun. Hey. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the best show on the planet. This is Emmett Morgan. I'm happy to be on the Talks with Liem show. I have a degree in accounting, but I'm currently a Las Vegas realtor. I've been doing that about 5 years now, and it's a whole different thing. We were talking about education earlier, but that's a different topic that we're going to bring up with our guest today. He is...
Dun dun dun! My name is Jeffrey, and Jeffrey Roque, actually. And I have my BS in medical technology. I acquired it here in the Philippines, and I will be a clinical laboratory scientist hopefully soon in California. So that's my story right there.
So today I think we're going to probably focus maybe questions towards your career, but it's not limited to that. I guess I'm saying this for our guests to kind of have an idea of what we may talk about. So it's either going to be your career or cryptocurrency, because both of us really love cryptocurrency. I think all three of us love cryptocurrency. And then any other stories and experiences that may come.
You just gave away the whole show. Now all the viewers can...
You guys can go home now. Don't watch anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I promise it's going to get wild.
Go ahead, continue the thing that you were saying earlier, Jeff.
Oh, no. I'm just, medical technologists, basically we're the ones that perform tests on various specimens like blood, sputum, poo, fecal matter. We're the ones that usually are in the back. Not many people see us. And like I was kind of like saying earlier, or, I think people that tend to lean towards being a medtech as opposed to a nurse tend to be more like introverted, and they're completely okay being like in a laboratory just testing specimens, so that's not a lot of, actually it's funny because a lot of people they just when I say I'm a medtech, they don't really know what that is. So then sometimes I just say I'm a nurse just so that I don't have to like explain exactly like I just did what exactly a medtech does, because then they'll be like, so what do you do? You know what I mean? It's like sometimes.
So for our listeners then, so when somebody's worried that they have gonorrhea and they go in and give a sample,
exactly. Actually, we're the ones that usually collect the sample. There's the old school method where you literally take a Q-tip and you insert it and rotate it, and we still actually,
tried and true methods.
Tried and true method, because we can get a gram stain like right off the bat, and then we can like look at it to see if it's a gram, gram negative diplococci, basically, and we can see. But like in the States, usually,
I don't know what you said, but it sounded gross.
Yeah.
Actually, break that down. Gram negative.
Gram negative intracellular diplococci. That's basically one of the signatures of Neisseria gonorrhea, because most cocci are gram positive, but Neisseria is gram negative cocci, which means it's cocci like circles, and then bacilli, which are basically rod shaped. So
I think you just fully established your credibility in about a minute here. Everybody now knows you're legit, because I pulled that out of my ass, and you're talking about it like an expert already. So
no. I mean, I've done a few collections for gonorrhea. Unfortunately, because I am a guy, usually they pick the guys to go out there and collect the specimens. So,
gotcha.
As much as it's painful for me, I can see it's if not as painful, if not more painful for the person I'm collecting it from.
Wait, do women not get gonorrhea? No. How does that?
Women do. It's a lot less. Well, I don't want to say it's a lot less painful, because it could be painful as well, but it's less painful to collect a specimen for gonorrhea from a woman as opposed to a man, because the Q-tip is the size of like
a Q-tip.
It's bigger than even your standard size Q-tip. Like the tip is not one that would fit in your ear.
Okay.
It will barely fit in your ear. So can you imagine, putting that, where you're gonna collect that from, and then you have to like rotate it, so it's very painful.
This is in the pee hole, right? Is that where we're going?
Yep,
okay.
right in the pee hole.
All
But
right.
in the U.S., usually they don't. I don't want to scare people off, because in the U.S., usually they're able to get it from like urine, or they're able to test for gonorrhea using different methods. It's just here in the Philippines, it's definitely cheaper to basically collect it that way, and then we can actually perform a gram stain like immediately, so we can kind of get an idea. Now, a gram stain doesn't confirm that it's Neisseria gonorrhea, but it will definitely allow us to help determine if it is, because if we, like I said, if we see gram negative intracellular diplococci on the gram stain, which we could stain up really quick, then we have a good idea that it's probably gonorrhea, and we can let the doctor know as soon as possible.
Also, the more painful the collection is, the more it discourages you from risky behavior.
Exactly. 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 Because you realize that if you end up getting gonorrhea, you may actually have to take a Q-tip to the pee-pee hole, and it doesn't look. And
give me the thick condom, please. Give me the thickest condom you have.
Exactly. So yeah, here in the Philippines, like, we also perform phlebotomy. In the States, we're not phlebotomists, which means we don't usually extract blood in the U.S. We actually have separate individuals for that, separate professions, I guess you could say.
So for people who don't know, phlebotomy is when you use a needle to take blood. Is that correct?
Exactly. Extraction. It's funny, too, because as a med tech, they're like, oh, you can extract blood, What about, can you give me, like, an IV? And I'm like, technically we could. We're not allowed to. I take that back. We're not allowed to, because that's not, but it's like funny. It's like, because I'm like, no, actually we usually don't put anything into the body via a needle. Usually we're just taking out stuff from the body via a needle,
So you totally know how. You're just not supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Okay. I'm not supposed to. I think actually, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that even here in the Philippines, once you're a med tech, you can be a phlebotomist. But I from my understanding, I think I still have to take an additional classes and an exam in the U.S. or in California in order to be a certified phlebotomist. So I think even though let's say I'm a clinical laboratory scientist, I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on this, but I feel like I'm still not allowed to extract blood in California yet until I get the necessary certification for that.
I'm glad you're not rushing to that without knowing whether you're allowed to or not.
Yeah. Well, like I said, actually phlebotomy is like the least favorite part of my experience in medical. Oh, aside from collecting, specimens for gonorrhea, because, like I said, I prefer chilling in the back and just testing various specimens. Because, you got people that are afraid of needles. You have people that pass out when you have to extract from kids. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, there was one kid that was like literally like hitting me like with his other hand, and while I was trying to extract. And I get it. Some moms, they're totally on board and they're like, no, you behave, he has to do this. And some moms are just, they spoil their kids, and it's almost like they're like bad, like they're pointing at me, yeah, bad, he's bad, don't worry.
Why are you stabbing my child?
Yeah, and then afterwards the kid had to one kid even had to basically we had to give him a syringe without a needle so that he could act like he was extracting from me to get revenge on me. Like, okay, if you let him take blood from you, don't worry, I'll let you take blood from him. And he's like, and I'm like, dude, like, what? Like I was like kind of a little bit bothered by the fact that the mom was basically like okay with this kid's behavior, and almost reinforcing it by saying, okay, so I basically afterwards we had to give him an empty syringe and he had to act like he stuck me with a needle so that he felt better. And I was like, yo, I don't want to do this. I don't want to take your blood. I said, me taking your blood and testing your blood is only to your benefit. So it's so like I said, it's the least.
They should make some type of law or rule in a hospital where you're allowed to kick them out on their whatever they're doing that's stupid like that.
Yeah, I kid you not. The kid, sometimes and not all parents are like that. Some parents are like, no, they're like, behave. This is what you have to do. And then, but there are some parents that really just, you can tell, it's the kid that wears the pants in the house. And it's
Yeah.
Like what
Is
the
this
heck?
where you saw the podcast going, Liem? We're off to a roaring start.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I know we're all over the place, and then once we get into crypto, we got a lot to talk about crypto. That's for sure, man. I mean, I don't know if you were watching live yesterday, but the market was nuts, man. Because I was watching, because actually it happened around 9 a.m. Eastern time, and 9 a.m. Eastern time is also, its stock market opens at 9:30 a.m.
Yeah.
So I was pretty glued to both the stock market and the stock market dumped quite a bit too. Relatively. I mean, you have to think, like, it was like, what was it? I think the NASDAQ might have dropped like 1%. Everyone's like, oh my gosh!
Yeah.
The NASDAQ's down 1%,
Yeah.
But it's like, they're like, oh my gosh, the stock market's freaking red. It's crashing. I'm like, dude, 1% in the cryptocurrency market, that's like, dude, that's a good day sometimes, man. You're like, oh man, I'm glad it was just a 1% correction. You know what I'm saying?
I think it moves more than that in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, man. Okay, so here's the thing. It's like, just from past few days, actually, the day before yesterday, I actually tethered up 75% of my portfolio. And then
Did you say tethered up?
Oh, I switched to stable coins for 75% of my portfolio.
Oh,
and then
dang. You did at the right time. Right?
I moved, because dude, technical analysis, dude, it was not looking good. I mean, fundamentals weren't looking good. I mean, you had FUD from all directions. It was almost like coordinated FUD, but you had Elon Musk tweeting stuff. You had China banning FUD, and which funny thing is that China already banned cryptocurrency like for institutions a while ago. This is just nothing new, but for some reason, Reuters, is that how you pronounce it? Reuters? I think it's Reuters, right? Reuters, right?
The
Reuters
news agency, right?
just happened to, publish an article about news that technically isn't news because, like I said, China's already banned, cryptocurrencies on that level already. So it's like, okay, so that wasn't good. The technical analysis wasn't good. I mean, it was a head and shoulders, which if you look at the charts, head and shoulders is usually a very bearish pattern, which means that, like, basically, I don't know if I'm mirrored or not, but it's like it goes up and then there's a higher high, but then it goes back down and then it goes up on basically a head and then shoulders, and then there's a neckline. And whenever
your graph went backwards, but it still worked.
Yeah. So whenever it breaks that neckline, it's bad. That means it's going down quite a bit. So when I saw it break that neckline, I was already like thinking, oh man, this is not good. So like I said, technical analysis wasn't good. The fundamentals weren't good. So what I did was I tethered up about 75% of my portfolio. Actually, perfect timing, because there's a gamble there because you never know, right?
Huge gamble.
It could go up,
but
right?
you paid you off really nice this time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and this. So I did make a mistake. So what I did was, okay, so I tethered up 75% of my portfolio. And then, of course, I have 25%, which is basically my hodl. Like, I was like, you know what? This is what I'm prepared to just, ride, even if this thing dumps hard. But what I did was I basically moved all my small caps into big caps, because those are the ones, if you want to go into a bear market, those are the ones that you're going to want to at least hold. You know what I mean? Because, dude, like, small caps, they could drop like 95%. So I basically moved all of my small caps into big caps, mainly Ethereum, Bitcoin.
So would you say you're
Cardano.
day trading? Would you say you're day trading? Is that?
I would say I'm like a hybrid. Because I actually
trading.
So yeah, because a day trader would just completely left the market. They would have been like, dude, I'm out. Like so the thing with day traders, or especially swing traders, they're not looking long term at all. So I would say that most of their portfolio is probably tethered up 90% of the time. It's only when they're trying to get in on 3%, 5% jumps. And usually sometimes they're going in on leverage. So it's like, okay, so these 3% moves could be, if they're doing it 10x leverage, it's 30% move for them. And then they're out, so they make 30% on whatever they put down and then they get out. So I'm not like that, because I've fundamental belief in cryptocurrency, and I know that even if you buy the market top, like even if you bought at $65,000 for Bitcoin, I think the next bull run, if it doesn't happen this time, I don't know, I'm I don't know. I'm not necessarily saying that the bull run's over, but I'm saying if it doesn't happen this time, eventually it will always come back and beat its all-time highs. So and you can always be safe with Ethereum, safe with Bitcoin. Those are the top two that you can always at least know that, hey, you know what? I know that I can at least, I just don't know how long I'm gonna have to wait, but at least I know eventually it will always come back and it'll bail me out. You know what I mean? Even if you buy the tops. So I moved my small caps into that, knowing that, okay, because honestly, if I was a day trader, I would have just pulled out. Everything was looking horrible, man. And then, what sucks though, is that the Tether or the stable coin. So basically, Tether is basically, it's a cryptocurrency, basically, but it's pegged to the US dollar. Yeah, it's pegged to the US dollar. So that's why it's called Tether. It's like tethered to the US dollar, which is actually hilarious because last night it wasn't. It
went up 10%, right? An unusual 10%. Man. That was the weirdest spike that I mean, that was a big spike for Tether for me. I haven't seen it.
So how does Tether work? Do they mint and burn coins to?
They do mint. They do mint coins when they add dollars or any other asset backing it. So basically, theoretically, it doesn't have to be US dollar backing it. Like, that's another FUD that just recently occurred also. They were like, oh, Tether is not 100% backed by US dollars. It's not. There's physical asset, I believe precious metals, I believe bonds. So, but technically, every dollar in Tether is backed so that it would be worth $1 US dollar. It does have a market cap as well, so that's why they actually do have to mint new ones, because when the market grows, they're like, okay, we need to add more Tether, which means that they basically have to put up more collateral to back up that Tether.
Isn't the person buying the Tether, isn't that money coming in? Or does it not work that way? Say I went and bought some Tether right now. Aren't I trading in $1 for a piece of Tether?
Yeah, you're just trading $1 for $1. And you could do that. A lot of people don't realize that. Actually, let's say hypothetically, you want to make some money off of cryptocurrency, but you don't want to deal with all of the volatility. Then you could essentially, I mean, like there's companies like BlockFi, companies like Celsius Network, companies like Nexo, and they'll give you as much as 10%, even more if you're going to take your interest in their native token. But if you want to take it in, for example, Tether, you can earn as much as like 10% on APY on your Tether, which is essentially back or tethered to $1. So it's like what bank in the US, and it's liquid, which means that you can take it out anytime.
You're moving real fast for somebody who's not for the rest of us that aren't as keen. If it is tethered to the dollar, how do I make 10%? So if I bought a dollar worth of Tether,
so what they do is these are crypto loaning companies. This is CFI, centralized financing. You can also go DeFi as well, which is decentralized financing. Going down that road, I mean, I think we'll start with just centralized financing, so it's a lot more simple. Yeah. So basically, there's these companies, like let's use BlockFi, for example. It's a U.S. company. I believe it's actually, don't quote me on this, but I think it's partially owned also by Gemini. So I believe the Winklevoss twins might have, a stake in it. But basically, not 100% sure, but from what my understanding, it is linked somehow to Gemini. And
they're in cahoots.
Yeah, they're in cahoots. So basically, okay, so let's take Lem for example. Let's say that Lem has a lot of Ethereum. Let's say Lem has a lot of Ethereum, right?
Like 3 or 4.
A lot of people that, a lot of people in cryptocurrency, they don't want to sell their cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah,
but
he doesn't. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but in everyday life, let's be realistic. You're gonna need fiat, right? So, unfortunately, we are not at the point yet. We hope that one day we'll get there, but we're at the point where you really can't necessarily survive with all of your money in crypto, because it's very difficult to pay your rent in crypto. It's very difficult to buy a car in crypto. Yeah. I mean, unless it's Doge, for some reason, all of a sudden, all these companies are taking Doge, But you know what I'm saying? So, okay, let's say that Lem, this is just purely hypothetical, but let's say that Lem has, $500,000 worth of Ethereum. Now, usually crypto people, they don't want to sell their Ethereum, right? But what BlockFi will do, it will be like, okay, here's the thing. We'll charge you interest, but what we're gonna do is, let's say Lem wants to buy a car that's $20,000. He could take out a $20,000 loan backed by his Ethereum, which means his Ethereum will be locked up in there, but backed by his Ethereum, which makes it a safe loan because that's the collateral, right? Basically, you're gonna take, and it's not, they're not gonna lock up just $20,000 worth of Ethereum. They're gonna lock up more because of how volatile the market is. Let's say that Ethereum drops, then you could get margin called, right? And in which case they're going to liquidate your Ethereum also as well. So basically, Lem could take out $20,000 in Tether and then convert that Tether to US dollars and then buy that car. Now that Ethereum will be locked in there, but it's still his. So in order to get it back, all he really has to do is basically, let's say, a year down the road, he has $20,000 again. He could take that $20,000, convert it back to Tether, and then basically return it and then get his Ethereum back. Right? So where are they getting the liquidity for the Tether? Well, that's coming from people that have Tether that is basically not I don't want to say locked up, because you can actually take it out like almost any time, right? So basically, let's say I have $20,000 in Tether and I want to earn 10% APY. So basically in BlockFi, I can stake it. I say stake because crypto guys usually say stake, but basically you can keep it there and let it earn up to 10% interest, and basically you're getting some of the money that, like, let's say Lem, who doesn't want to sell his Ethereum, is taking out a loan in Tether, is paying interest on, if that makes sense.
So then are you basically loaning Lem money through BlockFi?
Well, I don't have to deal with it at all. BlockFi is the one that takes care of all of the logistics. I just
Are you providing money for BlockFi to loan out?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people are like scared. They're like, oh my gosh, that's kind of scary. Like, what if they default on their loan? Like, traditionally we go off of credit scores, right? It's like, oh, okay, well, this guy, he's trustworthy, so we'll loan him some money. Well, this is even more safe if you think about it, because there's actually a staked asset. Like Lem isn't going to just get the $20,000 in Tether. He's going to leave probably $30,000 in Ethereum there, and he can't withdraw that. But at any time, he can always pull that back out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he could always, if he could pull that back out if he pays back the loan, I guess. So he never loses that Ethereum. But for the meantime, he has dollars to play with. Now, there's a lot of people that are Bitcoin millionaires, and they obviously need money for everyday things. And so what they do is basically they take out loans on their cryptocurrency.
So if everything goes right, say you put your Tether into BlockFi, it gets loaned to Lem, he pays it back in a year or whatever, you make 10% on your
APY.
Yep. And
on,
then
on my Tether.
But does that mean then that Lem is paying a higher percentage than that? So what is a typical interest rate to get that kind of loan?
So Lem is indeed will be paying back interest. I don't know that portion of it, because the reason is I don't have enough cryptocurrency to take a loan out on. Or I mean, I do, but not enough to where, at this point I might as well just use fiat that I
haven't done it.
Yeah, but so people that have millions of dollars in Bitcoin that, they're like, oh, dude, I don't want to sell my Bitcoin because I might have to buy back in at a higher price or whatever, and they're like straight hardcore hodlers. Those are the ones that usually would take out a loan on their crypto. Now, I'm not sure the percentage.
Presumably higher than 10%, right?
Yeah, it would have to be, right?
Is it something crazy like 20 or 30%?
That I don't think it's that high. I don't want to give out false information, so I'm just going to straight up say that I didn't research that portion. But because I was looking into loaning my Tether, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? If I'm going to sit here, if this is the bear, I'm going to wait. If we are heading into a bear market, what am I going to do in the meantime? Well, I might as well earn 10% APY on my stable coins, or Tether, which is a stable coin. There's others. USDC is another one. DAI is another stable coin. Binance has their own. This is Binance USD. Gemini has their own. Gemini USD. So these coins are essentially dollars. So at any time, if I want, I could pull out my Tether, send it out to, I don't know if you're using, for example, if you're using Coinbase, I think they use USDC, not Tether. But you would just send your USDC back to Coinbase, and then you can convert it to fiat for, at a 1-to-1 cost. So the reason why, I guess what I'm saying is that a lot of people are kind of scared. They're like, I don't want to deal with all the volatility, but there's money to be had even if you don't want to deal with the volatility. Let's say you have $50,000, just chilling in a bank that's earning 1% of 1%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like literally,
yeah.
they don't pay you anything. So you could theoretically, not theoretically, but you could, in essence, buy stablecoin with it. Say $50,000, buy $50,000 worth of stablecoin. Send it off to BlockFi, Celsius Network, or Nexo. Nexo pays off daily. I believe not 100%. I believe Celsius is weekly, and my understanding is BlockFi is monthly. So even if you sent it to Nexo and you staked it for 2 or 3 days, and you kept it there for 2 or 3 days, you could have earned 10% APY for those 3 days, and then you could just move it out. Like there's no, you don't have to necessarily lock it in, right?
Well, so an old-fashioned traditional guy would then say, well, if it's such a high rate of return, there must be some high risk, because there's no return without risk, right?
Well, correct. There's no return. Now, let's say that Ethereum drops 50%, like it just did. That's what happened. So what happens is, though, it's automatic. I think the risk isn't too much on the people loaning the Tether as much as the people that are putting their cryptocurrencies up for
Collateral.
as collateral. Because what happens is if it drops 50%, all of a sudden BlockFi is gonna we need to protect our money. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna automatically sell off your Ethereum before it hits the price that would match the Tether that you have on hand. Does that make sense? If that makes sense. I don't know if it's so. Basically, let's say $20,000, and then Liem puts up $40,000 worth of Ethereum or $30,000 worth of Ethereum, and it's coming down, it's coming close, and it's about to go below the amount of Tether that Liem has. Basically, BlockFi could liquidate that, sell it automatically, so that their back is covered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the person that basically put up their Ethereum as loan and took out, say, that's why if you're gonna back it, you might as well back it a lot. Like if you're gonna take out like $20,000, you might as well put out like $80,000 worth of Ethereum in there, just to make sure that if it happens to drop 50%, like it just doesn't sell off, so that because they're gonna sell off to protect their backs,
Right.
So in essence, all
it's
investments.
It's expensive and risky to borrow that way, to collateralize your holdings to get U.S. cash.
Actually, my understanding, like I said, I can't be 100. I'm not 100% on that part, on that aspect. But my understanding is that the cost to borrow on BlockFi is a lot cheaper than taking out a loan, say, at a bank. Like my understanding is that the APY is less, depending on which bank. Of course, if you have like Navy Fed and you're like military personnel, you can get some crazy good deals in terms of interest
Some
rates,
bomb-ass
right?
loans.
Yeah, so you get some really good loans. But for the majority of people,
because they know you're a commanding officer, that's why.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but for the majority of people, like they're gonna pay more if they take out a loan, like in traditional banks. And then not only that, usually, like I said, these people, they have Bitcoin, and what are they gonna do with the Bitcoin unless they sell it, right? So let's say a dude has $1 million worth of Bitcoin and he wants to take out just $20,000, in Tether so that he can buy a car. He's not going to sell any of that Bitcoin because he thinks, okay, well, the price is going to keep going up anyways, or I don't want to deal with having to like buy in higher or worried about any of that stuff. So I'll put up my, I'll store my Bitcoin there, and then I'll take out a loan on it. You know what I mean? And a very small loan, and so that I don't have to worry about being liquidated. Because if you have $1 million worth of Bitcoin in there, and you only take out a $10,000 loan, the chances of Bitcoin dropping that much is, every investment, everything, there's always risks, no matter what. Always risks.
Wait, you can get a Lambo for 20 grand?
Yeah, exactly. But here's another thing, though. Okay, so interesting, though, is you can actually stake your Bitcoin, because people borrow Bitcoins, too. But you don't get as high an APY. You'll only get like 4%, 3 to 4%. APY on your Bitcoin, because the demand isn't so high. Most people are usually borrowing Tether so that they can buy stuff and putting up their Bitcoin as collateral, not vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the reason why people usually borrow Bitcoin is some people are looking to short it. Like if you want to short the market, you're going to borrow Bitcoin at this price point, and then you're going to sell it. and then when it goes down, you're going to return the Bitcoin at a cheaper price and keep the difference. So you can borrow, and that's essentially what basically also same thing with leverage trading. So essentially that's what they're doing is like they're borrowing Bitcoin from someone. So all these people are loaning their Bitcoin. So you're borrowing Bitcoin because let's say $65,000, right? So you borrow Bitcoin at $65,000, you sell it off at $65,000. Right now it's what, $37,000, and then you buy that Bitcoin back and you return that Bitcoin $37,000. You've essentially almost doubled up. You know what I mean?
It's a big chunk, yeah.
It's a big chunk. So people also borrow cryptocurrencies as well. But usually the demand is there for.
Are you making schemes and plans for your
No.
for your 4 Ethereum?
Yeah.
My 4 Ethereum, I won't lend it.
Yeah. So, but essentially, how did we? Oh, so okay, so that's my bad. So here's my
speed 'em.
Here was my mistake. Was I took 75% of my portfolio Tether, and I didn't know it was a daily lock. I thought it was flexible. So I was like, you know what? I have this, so that I put it into a daily lock for interest. And I thought, I could just withdraw it if I needed to withdraw it right away. Because I was seeing it like Bitcoin, all the cryptocurrencies, it was a slow bleed, right? It was
so
slowly
daily lock
bleeding
means
off.
it's stuck there for 24 hours? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's until
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And then they pay you out the interest for that day.
Okay.
So when I saw that there was flash crashes going on left and right, like I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like I need to get my Tether out, because that is, if you have Tether, if you have stable coins, if you have dollars in, right, that's why I always say it's good to have stable coins, because that's the time you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money when the market's doing this. It sounds weird, but the market is doing this. So for example, and this was what I was already thinking, and I was trying to take out my 75% in stable coins, and I was going to put in a buy limit order on Cardano at $1.01, because I was like, dude, the way things are, this is dropping. It's like, dude, Cardano was down 160, 150, 130, 120, 130, 140, 120, 130. I was like, oh man, it was doing this. It was doing like people were unloading a lot of Cardano. And I was like, okay, I need to get my stable coin out, so I was going to put a buy order at $1. I couldn't get my stable coins out, so I couldn't put that buy order. Now, here's the thing, is eventually I was right. It happened, like there was a flash crash, and it dropped to, I think, 97 cents, 98 cents. And the buying pressure at $1 was so ridiculous that it hit $1 and rebounded within minutes, or within a minute, rebounded to $1.48. Because there was just so much buying pressure. So this is crazy. All the exchanges were going nuts. Like,
So
if you were watching it.
Does that mean a lot of people set buy orders right around $1? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have support levels, very strong support levels. Because there are people like, okay, for example, at Bitcoin, like people have support levels, like they're like at 10,000. They're like, if Bitcoin ever drops to 10,000, I have a buy order here and it'll automatically buy in at $10,000, right? So a lot of people are like, not necessarily betting, but they're kind of, I guess in a way, just saying, okay, well, if it happens to drop this far, I'll buy it at this price. Well, when
Because
you
to
have
them,
so many
that
people,
seems like a cheap value, right? They're saying, I want some Bitcoin, and if it drops to that number, then that's a good price for me to grab some.
Correct. So, but what happens is, at that price point, the buying pressure is so crazy that the price goes up super high. So, for example, if I put in by stable coins, let's say anything. Let's say you put in $2,000 at $1. Let's just say you just put in like $2,000 at $1 buy order. It filled, and within a minute, it was up almost 50%. So you would have made $1,000, or let's say $10,000. Let's say you had $10,000 and you put a buy order at $1.
Yeah.
It hit this $1, triggered so many buy orders that literally it went back up. You could see it like back to $1.48, and I was like, "Dang it, it happened!" You can make a lot of money when there are flash crashes, because it's like,
but your money was in Tether jail for a day.
Yeah, but that was my bad. I could have came out on top a lot if I just. Like I essentially could have increased my 75% or my stable coins by almost 50% in like less than a minute. But I was, whatever. Now I know. Now I know. Next time, instead of, I didn't know that this was gonna be a flash crash like that. It looked like a slow bleed to me. So I was like, oh, okay.
But multiply that also by if I'm understanding correctly. So when you locked it up, the price, let's say, of Ethereum was probably 3,800, 3,700. Was that about the right?
I locked it up when it was 3,500. So you remember I told you I had a buy order on Ethereum at 3,100. It filled. Luckily, it rebounded to 35, and then I basically sold.
But then it also dropped down to 27, 28 currently, right? I think.
I think right now it's at 24. I think.
Oh Jesus!
So in essence, if you still have the stable coin, you could.
Yeah, I could buy back in.
Yeah. So you. Yeah. You could. Well, I don't even know the percentage on that. That's a pretty big jump. Now, multiply, meaning if you were able to execute the Cardano thing plus this ETH thing, that could have been like 300%. Now, that's granted if everything went correctly for your
Well, yeah, it's easy to say looking back. Yeah.
Yeah. Hindsight's always 2020.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how slow I am. I thought I was richer before I walked into you guys telling me the current price.
He didn't know the drop of Ethereum was so massive.
Looks like I'm eating top ramen tonight for dinner.
It dropped to I believe 1,800. There was a wick that went down to 1,800. Man, I believe I was looking at it. I think there was a wick on Bitcoin that dropped to like almost 14K.
What's a wick?
There was just basically, so you have the candle and you have the wick. So. Yeah, basically the wick. Now the price itself didn't go that low, but that means people were willing to sell at that price because there was just so much.
So Jeff's talking about chart patterns. If you're watching a chart and you're watching a graph, then there are certain patterns that technical traders technical
traders. Yeah,
technical traders are looking for certain patterns, certain shapes, and a couple you've mentioned are the wick and the head and shoulders. So for
head and shoulders
for our listeners that are totally lost on that stuff. I'm not too far ahead of you.
No, so you have the candles and then you have a wick. I don't want to really go too much into it because I feel like all of a sudden we'll be like talking about that. But basically, there was a wick, which means that there's a chance
give us all your secrets,
that if you had a buy order, there's no secrets, man. I don't mind telling people, like even last time, I was talking to Liem. You remember I was telling you, like this is also what I like to do. I like to have stable coins because if there's flash crashes, I like to put them at support levels. Don't just put them anywhere. Like I don't want, people might just be like, okay, I want to buy it at this price. I'll buy it at this price. No, you look for key support levels that will, there will be other people buying with you. You don't want to just put it at I want to buy a Cardano at $1.15, so I'll just put it at $1.15.
I want to buy it at $69.69.
Yeah, I think $1.15 actually is a support level. But let's say you just don't random numbers, but you want to put it at support levels, and then you have very strong support levels. Levels that you don't think it'll ever go below, but once it hits it, man, the buying pressure melts faces, man. I kid you not, like a 50% increase, and literally even Binance's chart couldn't keep up. I was like, what just happened? I was like, did it wick down or did it wick up? Is it wicking down? And then all of a sudden when the dust settled, it was at $1.40, and I was like, dah!
Yeah.
Why didn't I have my stable coins? And it's a pretty safe bet at that point because usually that at $1, like I said, there's always risk. But it could keep going down further. The selling pressure could have been just straight up ridiculous that it could just plowed through that dollar support.
So if that move had worked for you, you wouldn't be talking to us now. You'd be out partying, right?
Exactly. I'd be super. I've actually got lucky quite a bit. Even with Bitcoin, I put a buy order at 43. Luckily, it rebounded also to around 44 in Ethereum, and I was able to I basically tethered up because I was like, this is not looking good, so you have you have people that just down to just hodl no matter what, right? Which I have my hodl bag. But the thing is if you buy in at a very low price point, you can totally it's a lot easier to hodl. Like when, for example, you bought Ethereum at $500 or $17, who knows? But if you buy at those price points, it's very easy to just hold. But if someone bought, Bitcoin at 65, it's a little bit, and I didn't buy it at 65. But what I'm saying is that like there's people that are like just hodl, and hodl is definitely the 100% guaranteed way. You just have to wait longer. You know what I mean? But if I can sell off, for example, at 3,500 Ethereum and then buy back in when it seems to have stabilized, then essentially my dollar has bought more Ethereum for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how do you know when to buy back into Ethereum now? So
as of right now, I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you, the market's looking, it's a little bit shifty. It's the technicals are not looking good, and there's also some weird stuff going on. I don't know if you guys. So there's definitely some manipulation going on. I mean, no market is immune to this. Is impervious to market manipulation, including the cryptocurrency market. But I think because of how easy it is to just buy and sell assets very quickly, there's no worry about having to wait for, like for example, stocks, it's different. Like you can't just keep buying and sell. Well, you can, but in essence, you know what I'm saying? Like with cryptocurrency, dude, I could sell $1 million worth of Bitcoin and buy $1 million of Bitcoin in like 2 seconds. You know what I mean?
You got $1 million.
Yeah. If I had $1 million, but I'm saying like that ability makes cryptocurrency very easy to kind of somewhat manipulate as well, because it's like you can do these buy orders, like for example, like the buy order and Cardano at $1 and then immediate sell off at $1.48. You know what I mean? Things work faster in the cryptocurrency market than in the stock market, which is also why you see those the crazy volatility, right?
Yeah.
But so all right,
so are we heading into crypto winter?
I think we may be in. This is what I think. I think we're going to be in a bear within a bull. I think that there's going to be a period of slowness, a period of basically cool down, trading sideways for a bit before we make that leg up. And so I don't think we're going into the bear market. But
a bear within a bull. I haven't heard that. Is that like when you do Thanksgiving and you put the duck inside the turkey?
Yeah, it's like a turducken, but instead of a turkey and a duck, it's a bear and a bull. You know what I mean?
Bull bear. Yeah, I can't even make a word.
What would you call that? A bull bear bowling, a bear rule.
A bear and a bull's ass.
I mean, it's kind of happened before. Even I believe in 2013, 2014, they had a double top in Bitcoin, which means that it peaked and then it went down and then it peaked again later in the year. Which I don't know if you guys follow, but you remember that, which is scary because you remember I was telling you about that one indicator, man, that pi cycle top indicator that basically it's able to predict the top of the Bitcoin market within 3 days. And it seemed to have done it. Basically, it crossed, and within 3 days, it hit its all-time high. That was during the Coinbase listing, and it hasn't revisited that $60,000 level in a bit. So now here's the thing: do I think that the indicator itself was right? I think it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. Also, I think it's people that are possibly manipulating the market, giving them a reason to dump. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, so people believe this. It's like, so you have multiple things going on. I don't believe that the indicator itself, because basically this indicator was created after the fact. So it fits all the prior bull markets, but it was reverse engineered in a way that it would basically predict the last, 3 bull markets. You know what I mean? So it wasn't an indicator that happened beforehand. It's kind of abstract. You know what I mean? It's not an indicator that you can use in any other market. It's just something that was just devised so that it could supposedly predict the top.
Unless it works on the next one.
Unless it works on the next one. But then it's so abstract and weird that I don't necessarily believe that the indicator itself is the causative agent of what happened. I think it's just people believing it, people using it as a reason also to dump the market. Because
it becomes a signal then to tell you what to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or also they can kind of blame it. So people are thinking, so let's say that there is manipulation going on behind the scenes. People are just going to blame the pi cycle top indicator. So it was just the pi cycle top indicator, not realizing that maybe some whale dumped off some money, So dumped off some Bitcoin at that time. You know what I mean? Everything was just aligning. Coinbase IPO, cryptocurrency, everything was just bullish at that time. You had the Chipotle saying they're gonna give away Bitcoin. It was just crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then now, all of a sudden, everything is bearish. All the news, the FUD. All of a sudden, Elon Musk saying that Tesla's not gonna accept Bitcoin, and then saying, tweeting Indeed, which might mean that Tesla already sold their Bitcoin, and it was just so much FUD. Then you have this FUD about China and banning cryptocurrencies, and then you have this FUD about BlockFi, and it's crazy how all of a sudden all of this bad news was happening at the same time, right?
So when you say market manipulation, are you talking about anything beyond, say, a rich dude? A rich dude's got a ton of money, and he's gonna put his money into some crypto coin, and he wants to maximize his gain, right? So say you had, I don't know, $50 million, right? Is there some amount that is what would be considered a whale, right? A whale is a big pile of money. So
for me, anyone that has over 5 freaking Bitcoin is a whale at this point. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, I guess take that back. Maybe 5 days ago, but that's not. When in terms of like manipulation, that he's not a whale. You need a lot more than 5 Bitcoin to manipulate the market. You have guys with like 1,000 Bitcoin, right? So here's what I'm saying. Like, for example, I kind of explained this earlier, or remember when we had that chat, it was you, and you remember we were talking about how, like, basically, so you can come to the market because the cryptocurrency, for example, Bitcoin, let's say the market cap it's big. Yeah, it was at 1 trillion. It went over $1 trillion. It's still not big enough to where, it's still relatively small if you think about it for an entire market. $1 trillion, it can still be manipulated. So what a guy could do, let's say that I have 1,000 Bitcoin, right? Mathematically, 1,000 Bitcoin, that boils down to
how much is
a lot of money. Multiply at that time. Let's say it was at 65,000. Let's say it was at its market peak, 65,000 times 1,000 Bitcoin. Okay,
I think that's 65 million.
Yeah, 65 million, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, there's like 3 Asians. We should be able to figure this out. This
is where you tell people we are not giving financial advice. We obviously can't do math, so don't.
Yeah. Just 3 dudes honestly, talking. Dude, I look at poo under a microscope for a living, man. So
we got some hacker in the Philippines wearing a beanie where it's fucking hot. Don't believe this guy.
Exactly, man. Exactly, right?
I'm wearing a fucking Red Bull shirt. It's in Thai writing. Yeah.
So, what was it again? Oh, so like, for example, you know how you can short. So you can short the market, right? So let's say you enter the market and you can see it. There's whale alerts. On Twitter, you can see it too. You can follow it. And because, blockchain is public, you can see when large amounts of Bitcoin are being moved on the blockchain. Mm-hmm. And there'll be like a whale alert. Someone moved 1,000 Bitcoin to Gemini, right? And so these dudes, what these guys could do is they can literally place a short on leverage. Let's say they put a short on leverage, on 100x leverage, right? Mm-hmm. Which is gambling, because like, what if the price goes up? Well, what if you dump that 1,000 Bitcoin at that one time? Mm-hmm. The market drops hard, and it causes a lot of people that are longing or basically leverage trading in the opposite direction, upwards, to get liquidated, right? So they get liquidated, it liquidates all of those dudes, and it compounds, and it causes a huge drop. And then guess what? They close their position on the short, and then they buy back in. So they could essentially, like I said, like one instance, this whale literally doubled up the amount of Bitcoin they had. They came to the exchange, and they left with double the amount. Like literally that same address sent out was to another wallet. I mean, sent back to the wallet twice the amount of Bitcoin that went out. So this dude straight up doubled up, right?
Okay, so here's where things are, because the blockchains are public, we can kind of see what the whales are doing, right? You can look at the biggest holdings.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you don't know who it is, we still can see what they're doing.
Exactly. Actually, you can still, you remember the amount of the Bitcoin that was basically stolen from Mt. Gox? Yeah. People still follow those Bitcoins. And actually recently, during the Coinbase IPO, that there was a movement from that wallet. So where those Bitcoins that were stolen from, a bunch of people from Mt. Gox, during that time, probably because of all of the hype going on, they figured that they could kind of move their Bitcoin secretly. Or not secretly, it's not really secretly, but they could kind of do it because everything else is kind of overshadowing this amount of Bitcoin being moved. You know what I mean? So those Bitcoins...
They're saying there won't be a lot of news on it if there's other events happening. They want to
because too many people are following... Dude, Bitcoin all-time high, everything Coinbase IPO, Chipotle giving away Bitcoin. So it's kind of like it goes under the radar. So these dudes were moving their Bitcoin that was basically stolen from Mt. Gox during that time. So we know there's people, whoever stole those Bitcoins, still they're sitting on it. They're trying to figure out. They're just waiting for that time that they could somehow cash it out. You know what I mean? But I guess what I'm saying.
Presumably, there's some law following them, right? There's some law looking for them.
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I'm
because it was a crime, right?
Yeah, there was a crime, but I don't know if there's necessarily. I'm sure there probably is some type of investigation. It occurred in Japan.
So if anybody wants to look it up, it's Mt. Gox, GOX. So if you look for the Mt. Gox hack, an exchange got hacked way back in the day, and somebody ran off with all the money.
Stands for Magic the Gathering Online Exchange, because that's what they used to start it out as, what was I saying? Man, totally. So back to what I was saying. So recently, with what's going on right now, you have all this FUD, dude. You're right. You have Elon tweeting stuff. You have things that are pushing the price down. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know if you saw, I'll send you the link, but that thread on 4chan, did you see that thread? Mm-mm. Okay, so I saw a screenshot of it, and I thought, I've always believed that there's market manipulation occurring in the cryptocurrency market. I think all markets are manipulated no matter what. It's just who's doing the manipulating and
who's got the money.
Whoever has the most. Like even here in the Philippines, the pork market is going crazy because right now the president
careful, dude,
has
they're gonna come after you. We're gonna see the pork cops bust in the door behind you.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here in the Philippines, pork is a huge mainstay. So like the companies that sell pork are driving up the prices at a ridiculous rate that basically the president here in the Philippines had to file or basically declare a state of calamity so that he could control the prices of pork because, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, markets can be manipulated and cryptocurrency market is not exempt from that.
Quit fucking with my ham, man. I just want my ham.
But I did, but honestly, I did not believe it could happen at this coordinated level. So here's the thing, right? I didn't believe it. I saw a screenshot until someone posted the link to the 4chan and the timestamps are there, the dates and everything. I'll send you the link. But there was like a thread and the guy said hi, I am the insider you seek. What is up? I don't have a lot of time. Yep. And then they're like, okay, so you're talking about a dump, and he's like, yeah. He's like, there's going to be a dump. It got pushed back to 1 a.m. UTC or 1 p.m. UTC. I don't know I think it's 1 p.m. UTC. But basically, whichever is basically aligned with 9 a.m. Eastern time in the U.S. I believe it's 1 p.m. UTC. But he said it got pushed back to 1 p.m. UTC. And he said everything is going according to plan. And then the guy said, at least a 30K Bitcoin. Expect at least a 30K Bitcoin. And then they're like, because we're looking to liquidate one whale who basically caused another crash and then made money off of that liquidation. So we had to push it back. We're all coordinating. I don't know who these individuals are, but this group coordinated and they're coordinating against another whale. So it's a bunch of whales that are trying to liquidate another whale. It's just crazy. So
they're coordinating publicly on 4chan because they have a large holding. And they're
no. So here's so this is just an insider, like an anonymous insider. Uh-huh. And he was just saying, just letting you know there's going to be a drop, at least 30,000, right? And he said 1 p.m. UTC. He said it got pushed back due to non-compliance because one of the people participating got greedy and wants more money somehow, right? So this happened a little more than an hour before 1 p.m. or 9 a.m. Eastern time. The timestamps are there. You can go to 4chan. It's legit. It's not and so the guy said, okay, well, I have to go. And then The guy said, well, usually, how come when there's these whale crashes, how come it usually happens at 3 a.m. Eastern time? And he said, I'll answer that question. He said, because that's when most people in New York are asleep. That's what he said, like in the thread. Now it seems like almost QAnon-like. Like I'm like kind of like this is BS. But the fact is if you look at the charts, 1 p.m. UTC was the exact dumpage time. It was 9 a.m. It was literally, he was that accurate, and he was right. It went down way below 30K. And then, I mean, it's just crazy because it's like these dudes are looking obviously to collect more Bitcoin. They're looking to get more money, and they're also looking to liquidate another whale. And
okay,
the people that are kind of
most people aren't on your level. So is the basic idea that if I have enough Bitcoin or whatever coin, if I have enough of a currency, if I have a giant chunk, I can sell it all at some price, and me selling all of it will cause the market to drop because I'm flooding the market with supply now, right? And then once it does drop, I can buy back in at this lower price, which brings the price back. I'm creating demand now, so I'm affecting the supply and demand, and in the end, I'm ending up with more than I started with pretty quickly. Is that the general idea?
You're also shaking out weak hands. So a lot of these people see this crash and they sell, right? Mm-hmm. So basically they're banking on people that have paper hands on a dump. Like when it's dumping, when it's crashing, they're banking on people to just panic sell, right?
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically what they're doing.
So then with the 4chan thing, are you saying that there is some collusion of whales? There's a group of people that
when you get
together, they're even bigger.
Yes. So when you get a bunch of whales together and basically coordinating, you get what happened last night. Like
Ultron whale.
Yeah, Ultron whale. And then you compound the fact that people got scared, people lost. I mean, you know, people that bought in very low, they're very lucky, but a lot of people, they bought in Bitcoin at like $60,000 and they put a lot of money in, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, like basically it's sad because it's like, it seems also like this was also not just a way to get more Bitcoin and get more money, but this is also a way to target a specific whale. It's like, right? It just sucks because it's like, who got hurt in the process, right? A lot of people that got hurt in the process were, you know, those everyday people that are like, I feel bad for them, dude, because like on Twitter, like they're tweeting like, you know, I lost so much money. There's like, I heard like an audio clip of a dude crying, like people got rocked, and I get it. You should never invest more than you're prepared to lose. That is definitely the number one rule of investing in anything.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah, this is not financial advice, but I'm just saying, don't ever invest what you're not prepared to lose.
Don't gamble more than you're ready to lose, right? Don't gamble more than you. Yeah,
exactly. But you know, it's like at the same time, it's kind of like I feel bad for them, and I hate the fact that people just say it's your fault. Don't gamble. You know, don't invest with more you're willing to lose. Like, it's really easy to say that because people that are very experienced in the market, they know when to sell, they know when to buy, they know when to hold, they know how much to put in, they know, you know. But when you have, which we're trying to do, is we're trying to get as many people in the world to kind of invest in this market. This is bad when you're scaring off people because these people, you know, they come into the cryptocurrency market and they leave in shambles, right? Their money is in some whale's pocket, right?
Yeah, and, you don't want to come in with $1,000 and then get rocked and then go, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore, right? And that's bad.
Exactly. So some people it's like $20,000, like it's like their money, you know. And see, here's the thing: is well, yes, it's their fault. They shouldn't have invested more than they're prepared to lose. That's easier said than done. One, and two, at the same time, you know. You have to realize, like, these people, they see what's going on and they're not experienced. They don't know what to do. They don't even know what blockchain is, right? But they want a piece of the pie. And you can't blame them for wanting a piece of the pie, right? Yeah. And so to just straight up say, without empathy, well, it's your fault, man. It's like, dude, that's not cool, man. Like, these people, they don't know, you know, at least before I got into the cryptocurrency market, at least I was buying stocks, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of these people, they're straight up noobs and they got rocked. And and you don't feel bad for them. Not only that, you're making them feel worse by saying it's your fault, haha, like, you know, you shouldn't have invested more. And then like it's like people are trolling them, and I'm like, what is your problem?
Should have gotten a finance degree.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? I hate that. I hate that fact, because the fact is that they wouldn't have gotten rocked if these whales dropped what they dropped. Like, are
you saying the world would be a better place without greedy motherfuckers?
Exactly. World would, if we could just share and share alike, you know. And you can't blame these people that are probably living in an apartment that are just trying to make ends meet, and they see some people that made a good amount of money in cryptocurrency, and then they're like, you know what, you know, I want to make a good amount in cryptocurrency. The FOMO is very real, and then they put in a lot of money in cryptocurrency, but they don't know what they're doing. And then this coordinated whale attack drops the price, and then now they're scared because they're not going to have money to pay rent or pay for like food for their children. So they're of course going to sell off. And it's like, yeah, it's their fault, but you have to understand that they're not educated in the market well enough to understand what the risks involved, and that they should have held. That's the worst thing. If you see a flash crash, the worst thing to do is sell. That is the worst thing you could do, is sell if you see a flash crash.
It's called panic selling.
Yeah, that's panic selling. Now, where I was doing, like when I was seeing it teetering, and I was like, okay, this is not good, and then I basically sold to 75% stable coins, and I moved my holdings into big cap coins and preparing for a possible bear market. That's a little different, because you might say, oh, you panic sold. I was like, not necessarily, but I understood the risk, because there's a chance it didn't. And what if everything went up? Am I willing to risk that possibility? And I say yes, because the risk of it going up, it might pump maybe 5%, but it might dump maybe 20%. So at that point, I weighed my risk. I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. It's funny because my fiance was kind of like, I don't know. She's like, you should just hold. You should just hold. And I was like, things just don't seem right. And I didn't see this 4chan thing. The 4chan thing I didn't see till afterwards, because then people were sharing it on Twitter. Also, good tip, if you want, you know, you got to be on Twitter all the time, because that's where you will find breaking news for cryptocurrency, whether it's Elon Musk tweeting, which is, if you want short it, you can short Bitcoin or whatever. But usually Twitter is the place, or, you know, Telegram, of course, but Twitter is the place that you want to follow, or is the social media app that you want to follow if you want to get the breaking news.
Telegram was full of Russian pump and dumps.
Yeah, exactly. There are. That's what I'm saying. If you want to get on the pump and dumps, have a purpose. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've ridden a pump and dump. You know, you ride it and then you sell it. But the sad fact is that a lot of people buy into a pump and dump not knowing that it's a pump and dump. Yeah. So they get dumped on. You know what I mean? And that's actually, I hate to say it, but that's kind of like what people want. They want people to not buy into it as a pump and dump, but to buy in as an investment, and then you dump it, right? Which sadly Cardano has been a part of too. Like when around the $1.10 range, it pumped to 145 because of the Mary hard fork, and then it dumped. So people, that's another thing. They're just looking to just pump and dump, and that's why they shill a lot of coins. Like they'll be like Shiba Inu to the moon, Safe Moon to the moon. They try to shill it so they can get more people to buy into it, so that they can sell it at a profit. Because if you bought it,
some topics or questions that you want to
if you want me to cut you off, or if you want to finish what you're saying, and then I'll ask a question.
I mean, if there's anything like that I'm saying that you disagree with or whatever, go ahead, dude, chime in. No problem.
No. I'm just listening.
Okay.
I had someone tell me the other day. So I'll tell a short story, then I'll ask the question. They said that they're kind of a day trader a little bit, and they wish that they actually held. They did make money. They did make more crypto by day trading, but they said in the end, if they would have just held, actually, they would have been up more. So that's the truth. They made some crypto by day trading, but they wish they would have held. Do you ever look at your actions and reflect back on that? Do you think you would have been?
Are you outperforming the market?
So okay, yeah. If you're profiting right now, you're pretty much outperforming the market. Yeah. Like even if you're up, because I mean, look at where Bitcoin is right now, where Ethereum is right now. It's, you know, almost like cut in half. You mean how many people bought in at $4,500, $4,400 and basically sold off and are probably at a loss right now, right? Mm-hmm. So I would argue that if you're in a profit right now, you are ahead of majority of the market right now. Now, correct. If you buy in a lot, here's the thing though. Okay. So there's two portions. So I have a HODL bag, and then I have a percentage of my portfolio, if you will, that I'm willing to kind of bounce around and keep as stable, right?
Yeah.
Now, the beauty of this is that I don't have to be stuck to, like, it's not stuck to a specific cryptocurrency, right? Because I have the ability to profit a little bit more, and this is also money that I'm not really willing. So you remember how you said you're like, invest with what you're prepared to lose. This one I'm prepared to lose, but not as much, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So at any time I could just stablecoin it up and then exchange it for fiat. You know what I mean? So yeah, if I would have bought, for example, Cardano at 89 cents and I put everything at Cardano, yeah, it went up to a high of $2.45 actually, just recently. But at the same time, that's the thing. It's like some people, they get emotional. They're like, oh, well, I could have done this or I could have done that. And it leads them to hodl through, for example, one time with Cardano, it pumped to $1.45. And dude, it was in the overbought territory. So I sold, not knowing it could have gone to 160. But then guess what? It dumped to $1.20. Then I bought back in. So it's like I don't know, because what would have been interesting is if I created two portfolios. One portfolio where if I just hodled, and one portfolio if I did all my day trading, and then compared the two. Then I could give you a definitive answer of whether or not I outperformed my hodl portfolio. But unfortunately, I didn't do that. Which next bull market, I'm not saying this is the end.
I got a question for Liem. So right now we're in May of 2021, right? So Dogecoin is getting a lot of news, a lot of press. So I want to say there's a case for Dogecoin becoming a legitimate big cryptocurrency. It's certainly one of the most popular, right? Is it in the top 10 market cap? Is it?
I think the last I checked, it's in the Doge is number 5. The last time I checked.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Doge crypto. It's a top 5 coin. The last I checked.
Yeah, Doge. Oh, Doge is, yeah. It actually flipped Cardano for a bit.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, people who hear about Dogecoin, what we know is originally started as a joke.
Meme coin.
But then now, anytime Elon jokes about it, it has a big, a lot of movement and value. So I think publicity-wise, it's kind of becoming one of the more known names. So the more you hear a name, the more people trust it for whatever, rightly or wrongly. I mean, it's probably not a good reason to trust something because you hear about it a lot. But that's how advertising works, right? You hear it enough times, you feel familiar, you feel safe. So I'm going to say that there might be a case for Dogecoin to buy and hold right now. Like if you buy some Dogecoin, is there a future? Because if Elon Musk keeps pumping it, if he ends up backing it, will a development team show up and build a decent coin? Could they do something like jumping over to proof of stake super fast? Because they got nothing to lose, right? Their coin doesn't promise anything at all, really. I mean, it's just a coin. So they don't make any promises currently. So if they went to proof of stake before everybody else did, then they could make that claim, hey, we're not burning proof of work computers all around the world the way all these other coins are. If you want the environmental coin that has gone to the future first, jump on Dogecoin. Or the other thing I'm thinking is that Elon Musk, he's such an out-of-the-box thinker. He could conceivably come up with some other idea that fundamentally changes or some niche or some angle where Dogecoin succeeds as a functional, useful coin. So that's kind of where I'm at today on this day in May of 2021. Does it make sense that Dogecoin might be a good bet, as much of a joke that it started out as? Would it? And I'm happy to hear you guys talk against that. But
I would say I'm against that because we have to think about. I totally understand. I totally get what you're saying. Elon Musk, if he takes some millions or billions of dollars and puts together a team and upgrades, does a Doge 2.0, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I would think from a technological point of view, the things I know about cryptocurrency and programming, I would say it's very unlikely. Now, I guess even Elon himself has said pick the most unlikely scenario, and that seems to be what happens in this goddamn world. So
The crypto world or the world?
in the world.
I don't think
Okay, yeah.
irony. No, I don't think it happens most of the time. It does happen, and I think when it does happen, it stands out because you're like, man, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
But I'll say the majority of the time, usually the thing that you could bet on is what happens. Like, for example, like, let's just say, I don't know. I think it's just, I understand what he's trying to say. Usually it's irony that, like, the thing that is least likely to occur occurs.
Yeah.
And that does happen sometimes. And I think it stands out in all of our minds that happens. But if you actually look at it objectively and quantitatively, you will realize that usually usually it's the opposite. Usually the thing that is most likely to occur is usually what occurs. You know what I mean?
So I'm building a case that there's a likely possibility for Dogecoin to keep ascending in value. If it's if a lot of it's popularity based, I mean, a lot of cryptocurrency.
You got to check out the video from Charles Hoskinson because he actually on Twitter he tagged Elon Musk. Charles Hoskinson is the founder of Cardano, also co-founder of Ethereum.
Yeah.
Also the advisor, I guess you could say, or partial leader of Ethereum Classic. And this guy, when it comes to blockchain, he's a genius, man. And he delineates everything that is required in order to make Dogecoin a viable option in the cryptocurrency market. He talks about making it ASIC resistant. Check out this. I'll send you the link. You should definitely watch this video. And everything down to even he doesn't say making a move to proof of stake, but he like puts up a paper on like if you want to move it to a more efficient version of proof of work. But in terms of proof of stake, it is definitely not the first. I mean, Cardano is proof of stake. That's why when Elon Musk tweeted those tweets, everyone thought the most logical, even including me, I said the most logical decision if he's really worried about the environment would be Cardano. But I said, to me, it just sounds like he's trolling, so I think it's going to be Doge. You remember, Liem? I told you that. He's going to go one of two ways. So what happened when Elon Musk tweeted that and Bitcoin started to dump? Cardano pumped hard because everyone thought, okay, what is the most likely candidate? Cardano is definitely the most likely candidate. It is already proof of stake. Goguen mainnet would be rolling out. Alonzo hard fork is coming out soon, maybe in 2 or 3 months. Smart contracts will go live on Cardano, which will make Cardano definitely a force to be reckoned with because it could do so. It's a contender for Ethereum. Now, I don't want to say ETH killer because everyone's ETH killer. I think they can all coexist, and I hate the whole tribalism that occurs because you cause a divisiveness, and I get it. But the funny thing is, it's like that closed-mindedness. Is that even a word?
Yeah,
being that closed-minded is what Bitcoin cryptocurrency is here to stamp out. Like we're talking about these people that believe in fiat, traditional markets, and we're saying you're so closed-minded, man. You're so closed-minded, and then everyone gets into their own.
So I'm not saying that Dogecoin has to be better than any other coin. I'm saying it could be popular because
it could be popular. I think if you're gonna pick a coin that's gonna go up more because of the market cap it's already at. Now, if you told me this maybe at 5 cents, I might be like, yeah, Doge might be an interesting investment. But I mean, at the current market cap right now, it doesn't have smart contracts. It's basically a Bitcoin, fork, if you will. It's very inefficient. And no one's really working on it. As a matter of fact, Palmer, one of the guys that founded it, he literally just came out of, he basically has a Twitter account that he kind of freezes, and then he came out just to say that like Elon Musk is a grifter after he was pumping Doge, and then left, and then even deleted his tweet. So, but what I'm saying is no one's really working on it. But if you want to know what needs to be done in order to make Doge a formidable opponent in the cryptocurrency market ring, you watch that vlog by Charles Hoskinson, and he gives you a full breakdown. And it's almost to the point where you might as well just start from scratch. It might even be worth Elon Musk just coming out with an Elon coin and starting from scratch. But
Right.
if there's anyone that could turn Doge into a competitor, it would be Elon Musk. He has the money, he has the engineers, I'm sure he has the programmers. But here's the thing, inherently right now, as time goes by, it becomes slightly deflationary, like the inflation decreases, but it's going to be like of 100 years from now to where it gets to the point where it's like, even like you can even say that it's a hedge against inflation. So, you'd have to wait. While Bitcoin, you don't even have to wait that long. So if you're going to choose between Doge or Bitcoin, I would still say I would bank on Bitcoin. Now, do I think Doge is going anywhere? No, I don't think it's going anywhere. I think you have a bunch of people from Wall Street Bets so you have bears, you have bulls, and then you have apes. Now, what are apes? They grip strength for days, dude. They buy and hold no matter what. That's the thing. You have bulls that have bulls. You have bears that'll be bears, and you have apes that will hold on. It doesn't matter if it's GameStop. It doesn't matter if it's AMC. It doesn't matter if it's Dogecoin. They buy and they will hold on. No matter how much you try to shake them, there's those dudes that'll just hold on. So I don't think it's necessarily going to go anywhere. But I do think that a lot of the people that are in Doge, that are shilling Doge, are people that are not just relatively new to the cryptocurrency market, because I guess you could say I'm relatively new to the cryptocurrency market, but just not really willing to become educated in the realm itself. Like for me, I find blockchain. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just gonna guess with Doge that when you have developers, network usage, adopters by corporations, and then popularity. The first three, I feel like Doge doesn't have. I forgot to mention technology itself. So it's blockchain. Now, popularity could keep it running for a while, and I see your point with that, Emmett.
Well, aren't there a lot of things you can buy with Doggy Coin right now?
Okay, so here's one thing. Okay, so yeah, for example, like a Nissan dealership was accepting Dogecoin. If you read the fine print, they accept Dogecoin with a 25% fee, a 25% transaction fee. So if you bought a car with Doge, 25%, you might as well just convert to stablecoin, dude, and then just buy it like that. But a lot of these people, unfortunately, they bought Doge also, like on Robinhood, and they don't really hold their Doge. They don't have the ability to send their Doge anywhere. They don't even have their ability to buy anything with their Doge because they don't even have ownership of their Doge. So even if they wanted to buy something with Doge, they would have to sell off the dollars anyways, get taxed, and then buy it. But if you had Doge, go ahead.
I would say that it's for people that if they want to analyze their investments, like technical analysis, then I wouldn't add Doge in there. But people that want to take a risk and gamble on it, go for it.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
where I would stand on it.
I'm going to say that if you can take your cryptocurrency and go buy something with it, then that kind of makes it money, right? Like if somebody else will trade me something, whatever the details are, right? I think you can go buy Dallas Maverick tickets with Doggy Coin, right? So if you can buy stuff with it in some way, that's currency, right?
Yeah,
that's money.
Absolutely.
So there's some value there. So that tells me it's legitimate money. All money is limited, right? If I got Japanese yen, I can only spend it in certain places in certain ways. So all money has limitations.
Yeah.
But as long as you can trade something for it.
I'm not saying that it's worthless. It's clearly worth a lot of money. A lot of people have made millions of dollars off of it. But what I'm saying is that if you were going to bank on a cryptocurrency on being the future, you're not going to bank on a cryptocurrency that's outdated in technology. Now, okay, here's the thing: is I'm not.
But what if it's really popular?
Popularity is it's huge, but it's not. I would honestly say that it's not as popular as people think. It's still, you know what I mean. The thing is look at the market cap now. Have you looked at Doge? Just take a look at Doge, man. It's not. It didn't. A lot of people sold off. A lot of people were holding it because they were trying to capitalize on people buying it from Robinhood. Same thing with Ethereum Classic. Same thing with Litecoin. Same thing with Bitcoin Cash. People sold off on Doge. Mm-hmm. See, that's the thing. And here's the thing: is a lot of people don't realize what. Okay, so a lot of people, when Elon Musk was tweeting this FUD about Bitcoin, right? Mm-hmm. They were like all about it. These Doge Army guys, and nothing against the Doge Army, man. Like I said, dude, it's your money. You can buy Doge. Like I'm not arguing against the currency itself. I don't even want to call cryptocurrency. I call them assets, crypto assets. But Like, you can buy it if you want, and hey, like, dude, Doge to the moon, right? Whatever, right? I mean, I don't own any Doge, but here's what I'm saying is like, so these guys were like, yeah, forget Bitcoin, and that's why I hate it, because they don't realize they're trying to basically, they're all about Elon Musk like demonizing Bitcoin. They don't realize that if Bitcoin, as of right now, Bitcoin is the king. You got to respect the king. I hate to say it, but it's the king. Even though it's not the current, like I said, it's outdated. It has the popularity, just like you're saying, just like Doge. But it does have key differences, like for example, the fact that every Bitcoin having half the amount are mined, and then eventually there's going to be no more mined Bitcoins that work for it in terms of value, and increase in value, in terms of like a store of value, because scarcity is key. Now, when you have Doge, which is not very scarce, and there are millions of Doge being minted every day, and it will become deflation eventually after 100 years. But if you're going to buy and hodl something, why would you buy and hodl something that's going to be deflationary in 100 years when you can buy and hodl something that's deflationary now?
What if I want something that'll increase in value exponentially in 5 years?
The market cap right now, that's unrealistic. Because a lot of people don't realize, they think that if you buy Bitcoin, if you buy a Doge at 50 cents that eventually hit 50,000, they don't realize that when it was at 50 cents, the market cap was like 70 billion dollars, right? So it was at $70 billion. In order it to hit $50,000, take $70 billion, multiply that by, well, I don't know, because it's at 50 cents. Multiply that by 2, then multiply that by 50. And that's what the market cap would have to be in order to be $50,000 per Doge. You see what I'm saying? Unless
so you're saying mathematically there's a case against Dogecoin value going up very quickly.
I think it'll go. I think if you wanted to buy in when it was going to go up quickly, you should have bought when it was 1 cent or 2 cents or less than a cent. To buy it at 50 cents, I'm saying that the likelihood of it going to $50,000, it's more difficult for Doge to get from 50 cents to $1 than it was to get from 1 cent to 2 cents, or from 2 cents to 4 cents. So if you wanted the exponential gains, you're a little bit late on. There's always a point of diminishing returns. You're better off if you're really looking for something like that. You want to gamble on a small coin. Your best bet is to go and look for these small altcoin gems like Shiba Inu, ride it and sell it, or Cum Rocket. That's another one. You might have to bleep that.
That's fine. We love rockets.
Like, Safe Moon. You know what I'm saying? Safe Moon. Now those ones are small caps, and if you're looking for like exponential growth, there. But basically,
okay, let me ask you your 1 minute opinion on Safe Moon, because I think for the average guy like me, Safe Moon seems like a flash in the pan kind of pyramid scheme, quick pump.
Yeah,
that's
how I feel.
Next year we're not going to hear anything about it, right?
Yeah, so I feel like it's just a pump and dump, and people pump it, then they dump it. So the key is to buy in before anyone else buys in. So Doge is already popular. So buying in now and expecting exponential growth, not likely to happen. Now, if you bought in out of Doge 2 years ago or last year, before it was really that popular, that's when you're going to get that exponential growth, right?
Okay, so let me ask you a question this way: if I'm today in May of 2021, I got $1,000, and I'm like, hey, I want to play with this a little bit. I'm looking to make this $1,000 turn into 10,000. I would like to 10x my money. I don't care if it takes a couple years, right? I'll wait a couple years for my $10,000. What are some coins you would bet on to go 10x?
Okay, to be honest with you, 10x coins. Solana, for sure, 10x coin.
For sure?
It's a smart I'm 100% sure, dude. I bought in at Solana at $12. I sold off Solana when it was $54. That is almost a 5x. That is the best performing coin in my portfolio. It turned out to be the best. I always say bet because all my portfolio is rebalanced now. So Solana was the best because I bought in Cardano at 89 cents. It went to $2.
But historic performance doesn't indicate future performance.
Oh, okay. So you want to get into the technicals of what's... See, the thing is Solana never entered top 10. It only hit a market cap of $12 billion, maybe $13 billion. Or I think it hit 14 at its peak just last week. $14 billion, if it got to the same market cap as Ethereum, Ethereum hit, at one point, Ethereum hit $400 billion. So let's say you take let's say, just keep it round number, let's say $10 billion, and you divide 400 by 10, and that's how much it would have grown in price. So what is that? Okay, so 10, okay, so that's 10 times 4, 40. So if Solana reaches the level of Ethereum, it would be a 40x from here.
Yeah.
Another thing is Cardano at one point last year was trading only at... See, the thing is making a 10x right now in this bull market is a little bit difficult because we're about midway through. Most of your...
wait 5 years, it's fine.
Yeah. So what I would recommend is if you're looking to 10x, wait until the bear market, and then but wait until the bear market and buy in at the bear market, and then wait for the next Bitcoin halving or dollar cost average like throughout the bear market, and then wait for that next Bitcoin halving. Because like I said, Bitcoin is king. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing runs on Bitcoin's schedule. That's why it's like, okay, for example, when these people were saying, oh yeah, down with Bitcoin, they were shooting themselves in the foot because they don't realize that there's there's times when Bitcoin will go down and other altcoins will go up, but there is a level that once it is breached, when Bitcoin drops, the entire market drops. Actually, the two coins that were holding stable yesterday I was watching was Polkadot and Solana. Solana was holding stable at above $50 and Polkadot was holding at about $37 during this crash, and I was like, what is going on? And I actually told my fiance, like, you might want to sell now. And she was like, no. She's like, I think it'll go up. And I was like, no. I was like, honestly, you're given a gift right now. I said, you're on a boat and you're seeing boats around you sinking. I said, you need to sell right now and you can buy back in. And then guess what, dude? It jumped to $20. Like, and I was like telling, and she was like, and I think she wasn't, she was just kind of like, yeah, which is true. Hodling it's and like I said, well, at this point, you might as well just hodl. If we do enter a bear market, it will come back. I know Polkadot is one of the top 10 projects that will, because Parachain Auctions haven't even gone live on it. It's founded by Gavin Wood, who's also the co-founder of Ethereum. And I know that Polkadot will be back. I know that Cardano will be back. I know that Binance Coin will be back because, Binance Exchange is the world's largest crypto exchange. So I'm not saying Doge won't be back, but you never know, because here's the thing is like these people that are buying Doge, they kind of have also short attention spans. One moment it's GameStop, one moment it's AMC. Next thing you know, it's Nokia. Then you think it's Doge. Then it's like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if, it's really popular now. I'm not saying that it will be. I don't want any Doge people hating them. We love the Doge army, all right? We love the Doge army. I don't want people hating on this video, but I'm just being realistic that, when they're pushing Elon to demonize Bitcoin and say like, oh, they want Bitcoin to crash, they didn't know that if Bitcoin crashes, everything crashes, which is exactly what happened yesterday. Bitcoin went, Doge went, Cardano went, Polkadot was staying afloat, Solana was staying afloat, but now Solana's down, now Polkadot's down, but eventually, I hate to say it, Bitcoin is king as of right now. Now, if there's going to be a flippening, like if Ethereum does flip Bitcoin, I want that to happen, but it would need to happen at a slow pace.
Well, I'll tell you this too. Also, if you want your marriage to work, you don't want to rub it in her face too much that you were right about.
No. Actually, no, I did. I don't. I don't even bring it up anymore. You know what? I keep telling. This morning I told her, it might come back. It did bounce back to $27. We don't know. It is bouncing a little bit. The market is bouncing. I don't know if it's a dead cat bounce or a bear. They call it a bull trap, which means that these guys aren't done making money off of the market. They pump it so people buy in and then they'll sell off again. Yeah. So there's a lot of things going on. That's why I'm a little hesitant to buy back in. But one thing that other Bitcoin maxis don't believe in is that there will be another bear market. Everything happens in cycles, whether it's winter, summer, spring, everything happens in cycles. Nothing can go up forever. It's sad because a lot of these YouTubers are like pumping that, and then a lot of people, and that's what happens, right? These people that put their money in, they listen to YouTube channels that were saying that Bitcoin's going to go up forever, and then they lost it all, and then they're like sad on Twitter saying, I lost it all, and people are like, well, it's your fault, you shouldn't have invested. Well, you have to realize that these people are being manipulated and taken advantage of, because some YouTubers, they need you to buy into Doge. Why? Because the more people that buy in after them, that's how you're making that money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you want a 10x now in this market, it's kind of like it's going to be harder to find your 10x coins. You're going to have to dig deeper into the market cap, into the lower market cap coins if you're trying to find a 10x. I'm not saying it can't happen. Like I said, but I think, like, dude, Polygon and Matic was freaking pumping like crazy, which is basically a layer 2 solution for Ethereum. Just before this dump, actually, it was pumping like crazy. Why? Because Ethereum gas fees are crazy, and Shiba Inu is part of the problem because people were buying Shiba Inu. It caused the gas fees to go up to like $300 if you wanted to send Ethereum. So it's like people were using basically a layer 2 solution because it's like, who wants to pay $300 to like you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
send.
So Ethereum, we've mentioned a couple times here. Ethereum's value has dropped a lot in the last couple of days here. Could Ethereum 10x? Is that a safe bet?
From 2400 from here, my estimates were about 8,000. I think it could get at the end of this bull run. I think 8,000 Ethereum is very possible.
My prediction is that Ethereum's gonna 100x in about 10 years, 8 to 10 years.
I haven't really assessed where I think Ethereum will be in 10 years, but I know by the end of this bull run, I've said that it probably will reach probably about 8K, assuming that this isn't the end of the bull run. So I don't think you could even 10x from there. But the thing is like I said, if Ethereum 10x's Solana, if Ethereum gets to 8, I'm sure that Solana will reach $400 or $500, which is a 10x. It's a 10x from here. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even more than 10x. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and so what is Solana? I'll let you do your research on it because it's like, but basically it is a smart contract play, and it is actually developed in San Diego. It's named after Solana Beach by this guy who basically who worked at Qualcomm, and he's brilliant too.
So what makes Solana better than Ethereum? Because Ethereum has smart contracts, right?
It's faster. It's right now, as of right now, it is capable of 50,000, some say 60,000, 50,000 transactions per second. If you have time, just go to this. It sounds like I'm shilling the coin. I don't even own the coin right now, but I'm just saying that I believe that Solana will be a competitor because it has all the fundamentals behind it. But if you have time, go to Solana's website and you can test the blockchain yourself. Like there's this thing where you type on the keyboard and it fills these green squares, and it's literally every single one of those is a transaction. So where it's different, it works on, it's called proof of history. So basically, it's almost like because these guys, they worked at Qualcomm, so it's almost like they combined the technology of cell phone technology and combined it with blockchain. Okay, so and then not only can you do about 50,000 transactions per second, and that's just layer 1. That's without a layer 2 solution. It can execute it. That speed carries over to the smart contract realm too. It can execute thousands of smart contracts in parallel at the same time. So if you're asking me like what is the fastest blockchain, I'm gonna actually go with Solana. If you're asking me what's the fastest smart contract blockchain, I'm gonna again go with Solana.
So now, just for comparison, how many transactions a second can Bitcoin and Ethereum do? If we're at 50,000 for Solana, what are the other two?
Bitcoin does about 5 transactions per second, and Ethereum does about 17 transactions per second.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Ethereum 1.0.
Yeah. When Ethereum 2 rolls out network wide, because that's why they want to move to proof of stake. Proof of work is slow, man. You have to wait for one of them to basically solve a puzzle before that they can validate a block or mine a block, whatever you want to call it. So they're making the move to proof of stake, which Sir Charles Hoskinson already said was like, dude, honestly, like that's going to be he was a huge proponent, and that's why Cardano is already a proof of stake blockchain, and so is Polkadot, which is Gavin Wood. So it's faster. Proof of stake is definitely faster. So I think once Ethereum 2 rolls out, it could be capable of like 100,000 transactions per second. But once again, when is that going to happen? We don't know if it's in 1 year, if it's in 2 years, or it could even be in 3 years. That's a huge task because of how popular Ethereum is right now. It's not as easy to just upgrade the network. You know what I mean? Like at this point, they really have to make sure it's on point because this could be detrimental to millions of holders.
Is it like trying to change all the wheels on the train while the train is moving?
kind of, and so
I would argue to say that it's not that. It is hard. I'm not trying to say it's easy, but in this case for 2.0, because it's they're able to work on the new code without interrupting the old code. So
they have different shards. So they have different. They call them shards. So they can have different running at the same time.
I'm trying to think of an analogy where it's like two freeways running, and they're gonna able to merge the other freeway without any impact on the old freeway.
No, another train.
I guess, another train next to each other in parallel that's like able to be lifted off, and then they're changing the or another truck and changing the tires on it so that when it goes down, it goes so that they could both get rolling and then they can lift this. But actually, they're even saying that they might even keep proof of work on Ethereum just to keep some miners happy, just on a shard. So there would be like one shard that proof of work is still fully functional, and then one, where it's Ethereum 2, where it's basically majority of it's proof of stake.
Well, so let me ask this technical question for you guys. If Bitcoin is only doing about 5 transactions per second, that sounds like very few for a worldwide cryptocurrency, right? Is there some backlog of transactions? Could it get to where people want to do so many transactions that you'd never catch up?
Well, so here's the thing. Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say.
If there's like a demand for 10 transactions per second, and you can only do 5, and it just keeps happening every second. Most
people, that's the thing, is that's why I firmly believe in Ethereum, because like I said, it's like comparing digital gold to digital oil. Ethereum has more use cases, right? Bitcoin is basically a store of value. It's like gold. And I'm not saying gold is useless inherently, but I'm sure it has properties, like I know it's conductive, and I know it has some like heat dissipation, but
good
essentially
teeth. Excellent teeth.
Yeah, excellent teeth. But it's basically a store of value. Like most people don't buy things in Bitcoin, which is why I find it absolutely absurd that the market reacted when they said, "Oh, we're not taking Bitcoin for Tesla," because who's going to buy a Tesla with a Bitcoin anyways? Not many people. Maybe 20 people, less than 20 people might do that, right? Because a lot of people, especially Bitcoin maxis, man, good luck trying to separate them from their Bitcoin, man. They think Bitcoin is like everything, right? So I guess what I'm saying is it's like a store of value. That's why no one really performs transactions with it, which is why, like Roger Ver, right, of Bitcoin.com, like you had these like fork or these like clones or fake like Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV, which stands for Satoshi Vision, where they believe that Satoshi Nakamoto's true vision was to see it as a currency. So they made it like work better like a currency, that you could buy things with Bitcoin, that like transaction speeds were a lot faster, that it didn't, so that was what Bitcoin Cash is. That's what Bitcoin SV is. Some people just call it fake Bitcoin, but it's basically
you don't want fake gold teeth. That's crazy.
Yeah, fake gold teeth. But essentially, people don't usually use Bitcoin as a means to transfer so much. Like it's not many people are transferring things on the blockchain.
Are you saying that there isn't currently 5 transactions per second happening, and there probably won't be in the future?
No, there is. There's definitely. I mean, that's why it could take. But that's the thing with Bitcoin, right? So it depends on the network traffic fee. And like if you're trying to send Bitcoin, the best time to send it for the cheapest network gas fees is 6 p.m. here. This is what I found just from personal experience. But 6 p.m. here, so it would be like 6 a.m. there in the States, or 7 8 or it's about 6 a.m. in the States. That's when I've found like the cheapest gas fees on Bitcoin. But the thing is with Bitcoin,
that's when all the Magic the Gathering people are sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. So there's not a lot of traffic.
Let me add. Actually, I think maybe Emmett, maybe you should drive this conversation with your questions, because me and Jeff, we've talked a lot about this cryptocurrency stuff.
I've been asking questions.
No, just be. If you have any thoughts that come up, you should probably steer the conversation your way.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, do you have any questions? I'm sorry, am I bad? I might be dominating again.
No, you're good. So over the course of a day, if you divide it out, there's not 5 transactions per second. I mean, the thing is, like I said, transaction on the blockchain could take anywhere from between 30 minutes to like a day, or sometimes even some people, it took them 2 days before it. It depends on how much you pay in gas fees. So we'll determine, whether or not your transaction gets mined. Like the higher you pay, the more likely that you're going to get mined, and the faster, the more likely. That moves you up in line, but over say a month, eventually your transaction will go, which means that the demand is not bigger than the capacity, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not
over some time period. Everybody's transactions gets done.
Yeah,
So
because
could it become big enough to where, hey, we got too many transactions and we'll never catch up? Could that happen, or is that not
it's
likely?
possible? Absolutely. I think anything is possible. But I guess where I see it going is just as a store of value. Like Ethereum is the one that really needs to work on its transactions per second, because as the quintessential smart contract play in the cryptocurrency world, it is going to be used a lot. There's going to be a lot of transactions occurring on the Ethereum blockchain, and that's why Ethereum really needs to make the move to ETH 2.0. But no, I don't see it really realistically. I think it's just people like gold. Like they're just buying it and storing it. You don't really see a lot of people walking around with gold bars and then exchanging it and giving it to each other, right?
No.
Same thing with Bitcoin.
I'll jack you
usually
for a
just
gold bar.
Yeah, they keep it in their wallet or they keep it in their safe locked up, right?
I'll stab a motherfucker for a gold bar.
Yeah. So that's how I see it. And like I said, with Ethereum, it's different because a lot of people, DeFi, NFTs, there's so many things that run on the Ethereum blockchain.
Let me ask you about that. So is it my understanding, is it correct that Ethereum was kind of the first smart contract?
Yes.
So, and then are a lot of other coins copies of Ethereum and then run on the Ethereum network, or do they each have their own network?
Cardano is very different. It is built from the ground up. That's why it's taking so long to implement smart contracts, and that's why mainnet isn't live yet, and that's why the Alonzo hard fork is supposed to be rolling out in a few months. So I wouldn't say it's a clone, but I think they took the idea of the essence of Ethereum.
I'm not saying Cardano's bad. I'm saying, are there a lot of Ethereum clone coins that just took their code?
Well, Harmony 1 is another smart contract play. Oh, go ahead.
As far as I've seen the statistics, I think something like 75% of all cryptocurrencies are actually tokens of Ethereum.
Oh, that's what I meant. ERC tokens.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
ERC token.
Now, to also add to what Jeff was about to say, I think Solana, Cardano,
Harmony 1.
They're Harmony 1, their own separate code base, so they aren't tokens of Ethereum as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not forks. Like, how Doge is kind of like a copy of Bitcoin. They didn't take like Ethereum's source code and then just like re-implement it. That's why sometimes I disagree with Charles Hoskinson. But he's brilliant when it comes to blockchain, and everything is peer reviewed. And there's no doubt in my mind that when things go live, it's going to be a legit platform. I believe that, which is good. That's the thing is a lot. That's what I'm saying. The thing is, and I get it because people are invested in it, but that's the thing is like when you have that tribalism, you have people that are basically hating on each other because they own different coins. And it's like, don't you realize that that's what we do to the traditional market? We hate on them because they're stuck in their realm. We hate on Warren Buffett because they're stuck in their realm. Same with Bill Gates. But then we will be stuck in our own just because you're in a specific coin and it's cryptocurrency doesn't mean that you're not being constrained within your own box that you're building around you. Why not?
No, I have very different reasons to hate Warren Buffett.
Yeah. Well, no, but a lot of Bitcoin maxis hate Warren Buffett because of how he basically demonizes Bitcoin, and you can't argue with he's a successful guy. Warren Buffett's a very rich man, and he did so. But what happens is like they built so during their time they were the ones that thought outside the box. Bill Gates was thinking outside the box, when he was.
I'm gonna call Warren Buffett a greedy motherfucker. Like all he's doing is collecting more money. Like, dude, look at your age. Go fix something, motherfucker. Like you got all these billions of dollars, you're not spending it. So what are you collecting it for? Like go fix something in America. Go fix something in the world. Like fix corruption or fix healthcare or fix education. Help some people, motherfucker. Like, what are you doing? You're gonna die soon. That's what I hate about Warren Buffett.
I can't say that I necessarily know too much about Warren Buffett, but I will say
he's sitting on a pile of billions of dollars and he's not doing anything awesome with it.
well, you can make that argument for 1% of the population, and that's the thing. That's like that's my we can go completely different. For me, like I said, like it's like you. Dude, I could talk for days about this. Like, for example, like because I was having this conversation with another friend, and he was like, "Okay, so what?" He said, "So what are you trying to say?" He's like, what is, there's poor people out there and there's rich people. Big whoop. And he's like, so what of it? I was like,
I'm saying if you got more money than you can ever spend, maybe you should help some other people.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's what I'm saying. And this is why the system is fundamentally broke. A lot of people like to see a rich person and a poor person. I see it's the same thing. They're all a part of the same system. The fact that one exists necessitates the existence of another. There has to be a poor person that's basically scrounging for food so that some dude can buy millions of dollars worth of yachts and not do anything with it. And I think that's why we can going down this road. We could go on for like days and stuff. But I'm
saying the rich dude could buy education for the poor guy.
Okay, here's what I'm saying. I don't think that anyone should really have more than $2 billion to their name. I realistically don't think so. Because if someone is making $100 million a year or making $200 million a year, their quality of life changes zip. But if someone is making $20,000 a year and all of a sudden is making $40,000 a year, that's a huge quality of life change. They're able to buy more things for their child. They're able to absolutely, dude. I'm totally on board.
I agree.
But I'm not. So what I'm saying is that I'm not excusing Warren Buffett from that. But what I'm saying is that actually it's almost like two different topics. But what I'm saying is that a lot of Bitcoin maxis don't necessarily hate on Warren Buffett because he's the richest man in the world, although that might be part of the reason. They hate him because he demonizes Bitcoin, because he talks Bitcoin down. If you're gonna ask it, so what I'm saying though is that he is a master in his own.
I don't expect him to give a shit about Bitcoin because he's an old dude that made all his money over the last 60 years. This is brand new shit. So whatever he's been doing has been working for him. So I don't care what he has to say about cryptocurrency because he's obviously from a different time.
I think I'm gonna play a little bit of devil's advocate.
But what I'm saying is that
devil's advocate. I think.
Hold on. Let me.
Go ahead.
Could I get? Let me just get this one point out because this is what I got. I went off on like a few tangents, but what I'm saying is that you're right. He made his billions in already, and he doesn't care about Bitcoin, and we don't care about him. But what I'm saying is that these people that made their billions of dollars in Bitcoin, they don't care about Ethereum, right? Because now they're like, oh, Ethereum, and then Ethereums are trying to get Bitcoin maxis to believe in Ethereum, and they're like, no, it's only Bitcoin. And then Cardano people are doing the same thing to Ethereum. People in Ethereum are like, no, man, Ethereum's the only fucking smart contract play. It's the best smart contract play. And then people in Cardano are trying to be like that. And then you have people in Solana that are trying to get people from Cardano. So here's what I'm saying though, is rather than to have that thought process that locks you in, like why not invest in all? Dude, I had Ethereum. My biggest holding was in Ethereum at one point. Then I had Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, Harmony One, Helewa. I don't see the reason to say that this will be the only blockchain. For me, I think they can all coexist. I think the market, because everyone wants because they have their majority stake in a specific project. But the fact is as technology progresses, there's gonna be new blockchains. I said, Cardano. I'll be honest. As of right now, until E2 rolls out, when Cardano gets Alonzo hard fork, Cardano is a better blockchain than Ethereum. Right now, I'll be honest with you. I think Solana is actually technically a better blockchain than both of them, but they're still in beta mode. There's still a lot of things that need to be worked out. And to explain proof of history, it's really complicated. But basically, I'll just say that they took technology from cell phone technology and melded it with blockchain technology, so that they don't have to wait for someone to elect a new person to mine the next block. Instead, they all operate on time. So it's okay, this block, this one's already processing transactions, this one's already processing transactions. How do you know that this one occurred before this one? Well, because of a timestamp that occurred. So there's basically a clock that is synchronized throughout the entire blockchain. So you don't have to sit there. So this one can already start minting its block. This one can start minting its block. All of them can start minting their blocks kind of essentially at the same time. And you know which transaction came before which one because of that timestamp. Gotcha. So it's kind of complicated because, like I said, dude, I watched the video twice, and I'm like, wow, dude, this guy is batting way over my head. But honestly, the technology speaks for itself. No, I'm not.
Well, it sounds like overall you're saying that there are many horses in the race, and that to pick the overall winner now, we're very early in the race. So why not just bet on a bunch of horses instead of saying, this is the fastest horse right now? Because we see that in every industry, right? Whatever the biggest car manufacturers were in the 70s, that doesn't apply now. The Motorola Razr flip phone was the badass King Kong at one point.
Yep.
But, so we see that in so many other industries. It'd be foolish not to apply that to this, right? There was a time where Dell and Compaq were huge players. There's a time where
Gateway. You remember Gateway?
Yeah, there was a time when CompuServe was the contender against AOL.
Yeah.
And you laugh at both now, right? So there's
remember Netscape, and then you got Chrome, and then you got
Yeah, so any technology we're going to see change over the years. So it'd be foolish to not see that coming, right?
That's just how I feel, because I'm not any type of maxi per se. Even when it comes to cryptocurrency, like I also invest in stocks. I like to diversify, and I now it's another thing. It's like, oh well, that means you don't believe in Bitcoin. Which one guy was like, I was like, what? What does that mean? Just because I invest in stocks, I don't believe in Bitcoin. Just because we were talking about this before, Lem, right? Like I said, one day if I made a lot of money in Ethereum or Bitcoin, I wouldn't mind cashing out some of it and buying an NSX. And a lot of people are like, why would you do that, man? You're going to buy something that depreciates, which I would argue, because I think the NSX will appreciate in value, but maybe not at the same level as cryptocurrencies. But for me, it's priceless.
It'll appreciate in badassness.
Yeah, just to open the door and see an NSX just chilling there, dude. It makes my day. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's priceless to me because I would never sell it anyways.
I kind of want a wide body Countach. That's what I would go for.
Exactly, a wide body Countach, right? People are like, why would you buy? But just opening that door and looking at it, and then just, all right, dude, I'm good to go. And you would never sell it, right?
If any of the viewers want to send me a wide body Countach, go ahead and
yeah. Same here, NSX, NA1, but I'll take an NA2 if you guys are willing to drop that. I'm cool with that too. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I just need to get that out because I feel like that's one point that I kind of want to hammer across, that I'm not a maxi in any specific cryptocurrency, and I like to see the technology that occurs in every single one, even Polkadot.
I love that you seem to be collecting a lot of information about the cryptocurrency world, just like a big sponge. You're reading everything and trying to analyze and understand all of this information.
Thanks to Lem, by the way, because to be honest with you, it's funny because it's like some of the people that I talk to, they think that I've been investing in cryptocurrency for like years. And then I was like, no, man, I just started in like February. They're like, what?
Yeah, no,
like, how did you just...
It sounds like you're getting a good grasp on stuff, and you're not going off into crazy directions. You're just saying, here's all the info, and based on logic, this is kind of where things seem to be pointing. So
yeah, I mean, in essence, I always want to fall back on logic, because at least if it fails, at least if the coin drops, and that's why I can't necessarily, aside from popularity, I couldn't buy into Doge. Yeah, you can make a lot of money on Doge. You could have made a lot of money on Doge, but if it went awry, I would be like, fuck,
that was stupid.
Yeah, I feel, man, right? But for example, and that's just like going to a blackjack table and then just hitting when you're not supposed to be hitting and just doing whatever you want. And then when you lose, you lose. But
yeah, I'm going to say fuck's not as bad as cum rocket.
Yeah. But if you play by the book, right, at least you can always say like, hey man, I might have lost playing blackjack, but I played to the best of percentages that I could possibly win. And if I lost, but at least I played it the way I should have played it. And it kind of puts me at ease. So if, for example, Cardano didn't do well, like I bought it at 89 cents and it just never rocketed to $2.50, I'd be like, you know what? Hey, it was a coin that didn't go anywhere, but I firmly believed in it. And, and
so based on the information I had and based on the cards I was dealt, that was a smart thing to do. What else can you do?
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing with selling off like the night before last night, right? It's like, I understood that there's a chance that what if everything just skyrocketed, right? There's a possibility because after usually retraces, there's usually a nice hard bounce, which could still happen right now. I could be missing out on a bounce right now. Who knows? Yeah. But I was like, okay, but I waited and I was like, okay, what are the chances that it could drop and how much it would drop? And what are the chances it would increase and how much would it increase? I saw a possible 20% correction coming, and I saw maybe there might be a 5% pump. And I just decided, okay, I'm going to sell. And so if things happen to pump, then, hey, I say I had my rationale behind it and that's all I could do, right? Oh, speaking of which, though, if you were to take the hodling, just this market, because I came so late. Now, if I hodled from the beginning, there's no doubt in my mind that my trading portfolio probably wouldn't be bigger than my hodl portfolio. But I would probably say that, especially at the current prices right now and where I sold off, I had a hodl portfolio and I had the portfolio I have now, I think I'm definitely ahead of the curve on my current portfolio because of the drop. That's just my assumption.
That's an easy thing, because you look at how much cash did I buy in and at what date, and then if I had held that cash, what would the value be now versus what I actually have after all my activity.
Exactly. If you look at it right now, but if, like I said, if Bitcoin didn't dump and it pumped, or actually, I didn't have a lot of Bitcoin. Most of my stake, there was a time, you remember, Lem, where I told you I sold all my Bitcoin and moved into Ethereum, which was awesome. It happened just before the move from 2,800 to 4,000. I was almost
come rocket.
Like, this must be, I mean, I feel like I'm doing something illegal at this point. Like, I was like, what is happening, right?
Using my pants.
It was like pumping and pumping and pumping. And actually, while I like the pump, I'm scared of the pumps, because usually things, when they go parabolic, it's bad signs, right? Especially if Bitcoin isn't kind of going up with it. That's why I'm saying, even though I didn't own any Bitcoin, I wanted to see Bitcoin go up as Ethereum was going up. Maybe not at the same rate, but at least going up, because it maintains stability. It's like this entire market is built on Bitcoin, and one day I hope that decouples, because it kind of sucks. But what it will do, though, is in the meantime, it will give us a nice schedule for when the next bull market will be, because we know that the next Bitcoin halving will occur in 3 years. So when we do hit a bear market, we do know when there's probably going to be another bull market. So
I'm actually just glad we talked to you today, because prior to this conversation, I think I understood what Tether coins, like stable coins, did. I didn't really see a point to them. So you just shown us a use case where it was a smart move to go into a stable coin, because you felt the market was going to drop. You said, hey, if I go park in a stable coin, I won't drop. I'll be stable. So that simple thing was something I learned today.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool. Did you have a question earlier, Lim, that we didn't?
It's a good way to transfer. Go ahead. Yeah, there was one point that you're going to say you're going to play devil's advocate.
That one was.
I just needed to.
I love Jeff's excitement.
It's so far back. It's I was gonna say devil's advocate on people like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, any of those big billionaires,
traditional billionaires that we're familiar with here in the U.S.
The devil's advocate argument is that they have the majority of their money in stock, so it's not a liquid cash that they can really do anything with. I think I have my counter argument, but I'm curious to hear your guys' on that.
You're saying Warren Buffett is a super billionaire, but it's not like it's in a bank account where he can go write a check. It's in stock that he can't.
Yeah, it's not fully liquid, which is true, because if you were to liquidate all those stocks, the price of the stock would go down heavily. So it's all.
I believe Jeff Bezos liquidates $1 billion a year to pay for rockets. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Or I read.
Yeah.
I heard from my rocket friends in the rocket biz. Yeah, right. So, I mean, you can liquidate, if you can liquidate $1 billion a year, I don't know. I mean, but at some point, so whatever, Warren Buffett in particular, he's been a stock market guy forever, and he's just been accumulating money, right? Accumulating that stock value. So at some point, I mean, if you got $1 billion, especially if you're not spending it awesomely, like, at least Jeff Bezos is building some half-ass rocket company. But what does Warren Buffett do with his fucking billions of dollars? Like, he's in the same lame house in Omaha. At least be entertaining. If you could go do some rad shit, I would respect that a lot more. If you could do some awesome shit that we can't do, and we can share in watching you do something rad, that would be fantastic. If you could have full-size remote control planes and fight them against each other, I would watch that shit, And if you're not going to go do some entertaining shit, then help some kids somewhere, like pay for some schools, like fucking do something, man.
No, I agree with you. What if
here, man?
What if what if he goes home every day and he loves $1 pineapple pancakes? I'm making some weird shit up. What if that's happiness?
Fucking pineapple pancake.
What if that is happiness? And he's okay with that.
Yeah, well, so then $1 billion should give you enough pineapple pancakes for the rest of your life.
Should we have the right to judge him? makes no fucking sense why I'm saying this.
Yeah, it's a terrible fucking pancake. Some chocolate chip, asshole.
I don't know enough about Warren Buffett, what he does on his free time.
I heard he goes to a lame diner in Omaha or whatever.
So yeah, I'm with you. I think if Jeff Bezos could burn $1 billion a year, why don't Jeff Bezos and Warren Buffett do something, even just burn $500 million a year and do something for education, do something for helping America's corruption and the corporate interest scheme, which they're probably for, because they
make your own list of the top 10 problems. In the U.S. is easy because you know this country and you know this world. It's hard to do good things in Nicaragua because I don't know what the fuck's happening in Nicaragua, so I can't effectively help them because I don't know what's going on. If you're a billionaire, you could probably figure it out pretty quick. But you could start with your own country and figure out the top 5 problems. Say, hey, I got 5 problems I wanna throw some money at and see if I can make them better. I would think that would be the most fantastic thing.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Absolutely, man. No, I totally agree with you. Actually, it's not even just relegated to Warren Buffett. Dude, there's just so many things that I believe that a lot of these.
And any rich motherfucker who has more money than you can spend, right? So if you got your yacht and you got your mansions and you got enough money to live on forever and you literally have no worries, there's some point at which enough money, anything beyond that is stupid, right? There's some stupid amount of money that you're never going to spend. What are you going to do? You're going to inherit it to your fucking worthless children.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Like, honestly, there was a point when Jeff Bezos was worth so much money that even if from the time Jesus was born, if you received $10,000 a day from that day until now, you would still wouldn't have as much money or be worth as much as Jeff Bezos.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And like you said, dude, like that money could be going into other things to like further technology. That's the thing with Bill Gates, and I know a lot of people hate on him, but to be honest with you, he does spread his money out into various fundraisers, and also and he does so actually under the radar. There's a lot of things that he invests in, even in the medical field, like even with this whole thing, like even before COVID-19, this was just kind of his aha moment, like, I knew this was going to happen, but even before that, he already knew that the likelihood of a virus and, it's going to happen, and this isn't the last one either. Like, you know what I mean? This isn't going to be the last pandemic, and there's going to be more pandemics, hopefully not anytime soon. But what he's saying is that we need to be ready. You know what I mean? We need to be prepared. So like he was already investing in various technologies to help further that. So I don't know. We're actually having this because between the top, well, he's not even, because now he's going to get divorced. So he's not even going to be in top 5, I think, anymore. But he's
going to be knocked down to Mackenzie's level.
Yeah. But the top 3 or top 4, like richest men in the world, like I would say, or richest people in the world, I actually think I have more of a fervor for Bill Gates than Elon Musk or Warren Buffett. And Elon Musk, I mean, he's brilliant. It sounds weird because a lot of people they deride Elon Musk all the time, and I think he's brilliant. I'm not taking away from his brilliance, but him as a person, he totally rubs me the wrong way. And it's not because of what that's what's hilarious is that everyone was all pro Elon Musk because of crypto. And even before that, I was already bothered by his personality. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that he's tweeted about that really bothered me. And the fact that he's I don't want to go down that road of why I feel like he's like that, because we already went down that road before, and I was like, oh man, I can't believe he occupied it. But yeah, but basically, I don't like even what he did. Like, it's like, oh, people are like, he can tweet whatever he wants to tweet.
Are you talking about the time he sent that submarine to trap the Thai kids that were stuck in a cave?
No, there was one. Shoot, I forgot the country. So there was a coup occurring in a country. It's a South American country. I don't know if it was Venezuela or Argentina. I'm not sure, but it was like a coup that America was like kind of like supporting, because America does support coups. It does happen.
Recently.
Yeah, recently. Okay. And then
I want to say about a year. No, 2 years ago.
Was it Argentina?
I don't remember the country.
So like Elon Musk tweeted something, and then some guy repeated. He said, "You know what's not cool?" He's like, supporting a coup in a country so that you can mine cheaper lithium and mine. And then his retort was, "We'll coup whoever we want to." And then he ended up later deleting it. And maybe he meant it as a joke. It could have been a joke.
I think it was joking. Yeah.
I don't think he would. Because I think if he can acquire lithium at a cheaper price, his retort later, once he deleted it, was like, "Oh, we get most of our lithium from Australia, I think." But yeah, if he can acquire lithium from a South American country at a cheaper price because of a coup, I think he's going to do it. I don't think he has an allegiance to any specific, even America. I think he even said, dude, he will dump America for China if that's where his bottom line is. His goal, in all reality, his goal is just to get us off this planet. Or I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to rule planet Mars. You know what I'm saying? Because if he's responsible for getting everyone to Mars.
I don't see a power trip in him. So I would give Elon credit for he's a crazy genius that wants to push us towards electric vehicles and cheaper space flight. Those are two things that are really cool. Yeah. He's trying to get us into space because prior to SpaceX, our space launch industry was really broken. Like we couldn't even put our own astronauts up there. We had to buy Russian rides. This is from a U.S. perspective, but he seems crazy bent on space flight to Mars. And
absolutely.
I actually respect that because his goal is not to make billions and billions of dollars. He didn't set out to make as much money as humanly possible. Any money he is trying to make is so he can afford to get us to Mars. Yeah, so but I'm not against that. I think that's kind of cool.
I think it's kind of cool. Okay, here's the thing is I think the motives are a little bit different because I don't think he's doing it as a means to better mankind. Like I don't think I think in the end, and it's consistent with who he is as a person, that it's his bottom line that he's looking after. Like I think
because you can't get to Mars without billions of dollars.
You can't get to Mars without billions of dollars. I'm not saying he's after the dollar, but there's something other than just getting to Mars. You know what I'm saying? And I almost feel like he wants. That's why he even said Doge. He said, and I feel like Doge or the cryptocurrency is going to be the currency, the future currency of Earth. Now he said of Earth, right?
Yeah.
So what is he saying? Like I think if you think about it, I think he wants people to go to Mars. I think he wants to be the one to dominate that society in a way, almost meld it in a way. Because why is he saying, "Oh yeah, I see it as a future cryptocurrency, the future currency of planet Earth"? But Mars, like I'm going to decide what's going to be the currency of Mars. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of reaching a little bit. But dude, you can't. He's kind of a jerk. Like it's the truth. And now it's finally.
He's not charming.
Well, he's charming. He's charming, but in a different way.
He rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
in a Tony Stark type of way.
If he was charming, you would love him.
No, well, there are people that love him. So he's charming in that charismatic Tony Stark type of way. Even
are we
Donald
rehashing?
I think so. Yeah, we should probably jump topics.
Go back to crypto.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, that's just how I feel. Like I honestly think it's funny how now finally everyone in cryptocurrency is kind of like, oh, but I was like, dude, what is it in the other the fact that he like shilled Bitcoin? What is it in his past? I mean, yeah, he's brilliant and he's a visionary. I don't want to take that away from anyone, but it doesn't necessarily like negate like some of the negative things aspects that I see in him. So, and I think Bill Gates gets a lot of rap because he's just kind of like an older guy. But if you think about it, he does a lot of angel investments. He even invested in the San Diego Unified Education System. We didn't even know about it. Even West Hills like reaped some benefits from that, and it doesn't.
I heard Bill Gates. The potential virus that was prior to COVID, which was I believe in Africa, if I'm correct.
Ebola.
Was it Ebola?
If Africa is the Ebola virus. It could have been MERS-CoV, which is the Middle Eastern Respiratory Coronavirus.
I think that's the one. So it was Bill Gates's foundation that, from what I heard, if I heard correctly, they were able to get the hold down that virus there because of his foundation, and nobody gives him much credit for it. So that's an unfortunate swing of events where now that COVID came around, people are upset at Bill Gates for saying that, hey, I told you so. But he put in so much effort and money into the MERS COVID that it held it back there, and the world didn't see MERS COVID because of his foundation.
Yeah. So yeah, correct. They're both coronaviruses. It's just it's a different. Well, it's an altogether different virus in the same family. But dude, MERS-CoV is more deadlier than SARS-CoV-2. MERS-CoV was like almost.
What are you, some kind of medical guy?
No, it was like 40% fatal, which means that basically, essentially, almost 40% fatal. I think it was more than 40%. It might be more than 40% fatal, which means that out of 10 people infected, 4 of them would die.
Yeah.
So four of them could possibly die. So it was a coronavirus that was like no joke. So I think.
Yeah, keep that shit in the Middle East. We don't want that.
It's funny. Actually, the huge outbreak was in Korea. That's why Korea was able to. That's why South Korea was able to control it so quickly, because in 2015 they suffered from the MERS-CoV outbreak in South Korea. So when coronavirus in 2020, when it started spreading, it's like they had all of these policies and systems ready to just lock down everything, and that's why they were able to control SARS-CoV-2 in South Korea so quickly.
So they also didn't have a bullshit trumpet as a president.
Exactly. Yeah, they also didn't have a guy who didn't care and just went golfing.
No, that's interesting to hear that you said that that it hit South Korea, because from what I heard from that, I guess the article or the interview was that they were able to stop it. Is that the Middle East where it started?
Yeah. Middle East, it started in Middle East. I think it's because you know how like this one went from bats to like pangolins, and then from pangolins to humans. I think it went to camel, and then a camel to, and it started out. And obviously camels aren't, they're not just roaming around Asia, but yeah. So it started out in the Middle East.
Camels hate Asia.
But the major outbreak was in South Korea. And I was even here in the Philippines, because I remember in 2015, they were locking down South Korea, and the Philippines were kind of like, wait, what's going on? What's happening? Well, one thing also, go ahead. Continue.
So how would you, I'm guessing, does that mean, so it jumped from, I guess, camel to person in the Middle East, and then somehow that virus just had one patient zero in South Korea?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
somehow it made its way to Korea, but I remember Korea was definitely one place that was hit hard. Just like SARS-CoV, the first one, SARS coronavirus, Taiwan was like hit really hard, and that's why also Taiwan, that was back in 2003, I think, or 2002, and that's why they were able to control. They were able to keep their fatalities under, I think, 10 people. I think there was only like 7 people that died. That was a while ago when I checked.
Taiwan.
Yeah.
Okay, so the lesson here is don't make out with camels.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be making out with camels.
Is this the 1 hump or 2 hump, or does it not matter? Either hump, camels.
Depends on how many humps it makes for you to come rocket.
Yeah. Sorry, dude. Sorry, my dudes. I think my camera overheated, so it just needs to cool down. I think
that's what I said. Everybody should listen to me, because I called that one.
You did call that one, man. You did. But back to what I was saying. I'm not trying to. I know there's huge people. Dude, Musk has huge fans, so I don't want to like push that.
Whatever. You got a Bill Gates boner. You're tribalizing to Bill Gates boner.
No. I'm not saying Bill Gates is perfect. I'm just saying out of the
his operating system sucked and made us all suffer for years.
Windows 95. Yeah,
all of them.
Blue screen of death. But you have to admit though, he does kind of go under the radar, and he doesn't go after praise. And I honestly think that Bill Gates also doesn't really care to be the richest man in the world. I think for him it's just
he wants to bang some interns.
I think it'll be interesting with the Bill Gates divorce, though, to see how much was Melinda Gates pushing all the foundation stuff, all the charity work that they're doing. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
I bet she had a lot to do with that, man.
That's what I'm theorizing. Sure. I wonder if she was 95% of all that, and then we'll see how Bill Gates is after this divorce.
Billy's on the hot seat right now.
Yeah.
Only time will tell.
He's on the hot seat because also he's getting accusations from some young employees.
I don't know why people are so surprised anymore. Like, dudes want to bang chicks, and then super rich dudes want to bang chicks too. So
I agree. Come on, dude. Let's be realistic, dude. I would argue that even when they're like, "Oh my gosh, a politician, he had an affair," and it's like, really, why are you shocked, man? It doesn't.
Politicians you should expect them to lie to us. So
yeah,
this is crazy. Why are we buying this drama? Fucking politicians are gonna try to bang chicks or rich dudes. In fact, 90% of men are out there trying to bang chicks. So what's the fucking surprise? Are we on a time crunch, or should we pull back to crypto?
My
or
bad.
what's our,
No,
yeah, I'll just what I'll do is I'll just you can cut all that out or whatever you need to, and then maybe we'll just use this video because I think my camera and then like in the beginning you can kind of use the high quality feed maybe.
I like trying to see your right nipple through the camera here.
But the audio is not gonna be.
No, it came through. We can hear you here.
No, but the audio that I'm gonna send, hold up, sorry man.
It's all good, man. Don't worry about it.
Are you filming on an old Motorola Flip Razor?
Nah, DJ Osmo Pocket.
No, we're good.
But
We're good on time. We got about 25 more minutes. Jeff is the first person to do you're a part three, first person to do a part 3. So I don't have final questions for part 3 yet.
Oh, thanks, man.
All right, let's go with them. It's final 3 questions or final questions.
I had a brilliant one. I forgot it. You sound like you're ingesting a lot of sources of information. So you mentioned that Twitter is a good feed for you. Are there some Twitter handles that you follow? I'm not even on Twitter. That's all old and out of it.
For crypto?
Yeah. So I like your crypto information and analysis. It seems like you're a pretty sharp dude. You seem to have a great capacity to ingest this information and to understand and remember it. I think I have a terrible memory. So if I had ingested everything you had in the last few months, I don't think I could speak as intelligently as you have because I don't have that recall. I can't remember stuff well enough to pull it back up.
Oh, thanks, man. I'll take that as a compliment, man. Appreciate it.
It is, yeah. I'm jealous of your ability to process information in that way because I feel like I'm missing the memory to process information that well.
Well, if you're gonna definitely on Twitter, if you're definitely first person you want to follow, if you're in cryptocurrency, Elon Musk, my friend.
You just started calling him a pedophile.
No, if you want to, did I call him a pedophile? I didn't call him.
No, I'm making shit up.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that calls everybody else pedophile. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy from the cave diver or whatever. But no, because his updates, they control the cryptocurrency market. Just like when he said, looking into Doge. Like you remember, and I sent that to Liem. Dude, yeah. Doge pumped probably like 15 to 20%. And if you just saw that tweet and then you just went in and bought Doge, you could have made an easy 15 to 20% off of.
So you're saying Elon is a publicity whale that can move crypto markets?
Yeah, I kind of wish he wasn't, to be honest with you, though.
Yeah, but we're just taking the facts as they stand. Facts on the table. Like
he is.
When Elon tweets something, markets move. That is
true.
Fair to say, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so what other sources of information? So presumably you're spending some portion of your day, a couple hours a day, consuming crypto information, watching charts. What are the top 5 things you're watching every day as you're trading and learning about cryptocurrency?
I think the reason why I had a lot of time to research cryptocurrency was because, essentially, I was studying for the board exam, and so on my breaks, I would just go into. It was like learning about crypto was like my break from studying, parasitology or molecular biology or bacteriology. So it's like I was studying this, and then I would take like a 15-minute break, and then look into crypto, and then I go back, and then in terms of TA or
I'm the same way with porn.
Yeah, exactly, right? So after 15 minutes, go back. So such a technical analysis is kind of picked up from just stocks, because that's TAs you can use that anywhere, foreign exchange, stock market. So it applies to the cryptocurrency market, but in a very different way. Definitely, they move in very different ways. So anyone that's really good at TA in, say, the stock market won't necessarily be good in crypto, and vice versa. But one thing I do, follow Twitter, Elon Musk, guys I like to follow, Lark Davis, BitBoy Crypto.
You say Mark Davis?
Lark
Davis?
Lark Davis.
Not the LA Laker.
No. It's just this one cryptocurrency dude. I think he's in New Zealand. And then BitBoy Crypto, JRNY Crypto. They have nice
JRNY Crypto?
Yeah, JRNY Crypto.
Okay.
So all of those, and then when you actually follow those people, Twitter will do the rest, because it'll automatically it already handpicks stuff and then delivers it to your feed as well. You know what I mean? So,
I'm gonna add something. I'm guessing you also want to say that you add in a bunch of salt on some of those too, because I think me and you've discussed it on the side, but meaning some of those BitBoy, especially when I've listened to some of his stuff.
Oh yeah.
You got to be careful.
Oh no. Those are just people that I follow on Twitter. I don't necessarily like. It doesn't mean that. And he has some good points as well. But yeah, with a grain of salt. But it's
so
always
for any information source, you want to be wary and evaluate whether this is a good. This just seemed like a legit person, you know, versus some clown.
And even if it's a legit person, people have their faults either daily or weekly or whatever. So even if that person is good, still double check some of the stuff that they say.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like if I was following Jeff, I would know that he's kind of anti-Elon and he's kind of pro Bill Gates. So I would ingest that into my.
No, I don't want to say. It sounds. I just want to say that sometimes I feel like Bill Gates gets just because that's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
dragged us back here.
no. I'm saying that there is a charisma to Elon Musk, just like there is a charisma to Donald Trump. Even though not a big fan of Donald Trump, there are a lot of people that really love Donald Trump. He has a charisma. He does. It's the truth.
Yeah, love it or hate it. It's people.
Yeah,
some people love it. Yeah.
Same with Elon Musk. People love him or hate him. You know what I mean? Bill Gates, I would argue that, to be honest with you, based on his personality, not many people love him because of his personality. You know, he's just there and he does what he, wants to do, and it just is what it is. Like, you know what I mean?
Are there information sources you look at outside of Twitter? Are there things that you
absolutely.
watch?
YouTube, man. Watch those guys on YouTube as well. Like I said, with a grain of salt. But Lark Davis, Bitboy Crypto, JNY. Who else? Charles Hoskinson himself. He does a lot of live feeds on YouTube, and he does a lot of live feeds on YouTube, and you can learn a lot from him. And sometimes he kind of has like an arrogance to him as well, but that doesn't but
you're just there for the information, right? That's
and I can respect his brilliance. It's just the same thing with Elon. I can respect his brilliance, and so a lot of people. That's what I think is a lot of people that love Ethereum hate Charles Hoskinson because they think he's kind of a jerk, right? And I can see why some people think that, because people that are kind of as intelligent as he is kind of have a overbearing personality, just like Steve Jobs, right? A lot of people hated Steve Jobs. But you can't, and even me, I wasn't a big Steve Jobs fan either, but it can't take away from the fact that he was brilliant. He was a brilliant visionary that steered us in a direction that, he made a lot of changes to this world that, everything, dude, like smartphones, tablets, like,
right.
So
his accomplishments are his accomplishments. Yeah.
Very brilliant. Charles Hoskinson is a very brilliant guy. If you just even listen to some of his podcasts, you can see that he doesn't really care if people like him or not. It's not his thing. He's just, it's almost like Cardano is like his child, Gotcha. So he doesn't even care what the price is. A lot of people were like giving him crap because they're like, pump it, say something. And he's like, honestly, I really don't care about the price. And
he just wants to build it and make it good. Yeah.
And a lot of people hated him for that because they're like, well, a lot of people are investing in Cardano and we want you to at least care about the price. And the fact is he doesn't really care about the price. He said that numerous times. So he said, if you want a project that just so that the founder will shill it, so that the price of it will go up, so you'll make money, he said, Cardano is not the one for you. But he's like, if you want to invest in a cryptocurrency that could potentially change the world because of my vision and what I could see blockchain is possible and capable of doing, he said, then Cardano is for you. And when there's accomplishments, when it hit all-time highs, he even released a video and he said, it's not because of me. And none of this is because of me. He said, it's because of you guys and your belief in this coin. That's why this coin went to the price that it went to. And that's why he has such a strong following, because almost cult-like. I don't, it sounds weird, but he almost has, some people say it's almost cult-like, the Cardano fan base. Now I'm not a cult-like, but I'm a fan of it. Like I said, but just like I'm a fan of Solana. And
are there any websites that you visit that are information sources?
Just the normal ones, Coin Bureau. Oh, don't forget Coin Bureau, man. Lem brought me on the Coin Bureau, and Coin Bureau is
actually.
Really
I forget if I mentioned, it was actually Carl that introduced Coin Bureau to me. So the Carl that we did the last talk with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So thanks to Carl.
Yeah, dude.
Is Coin Bureau a British dude?
Yeah, he's that British dude.
Yeah.
Very.
I've only seen one video. Yeah.
He has also a Twitter account too. I follow Coin Bureau on Twitter. So for cryptocurrency, all of those things. I mean, they'll give you every night, Monday through Friday, though. Bitboy Crypto, I will give credit. Bitboy Crypto, he does have like a daily show at night here in the Philippines. It's 11 o'clock here, so what time is that over there? Maybe 9
Yeah.
a.m. in the morning.
Are you planning to stay there in the Philippines? Is this?
Oh no.
Are you digging
I'm going
it?
to. I just passed my board exam, so passed
So
my.
all that medical certification transfers back to the U.S. Is that?
You got it.
Wow,
So it's
that's
the
cool.
international board exam. It's by the ASCP or the American. Oh man, clinical pathology? American Society of Clinical Pathology, I think is what it stands for.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I just passed the exam, but I don't even know what it stands for. But it's like,
Because you've been calling it by the acronym for so long.
how do you like that one? Talking about how I know what I'm talking about. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, I got a beanie in the Philippines.
Do not take advantage from this motherfucker.
Yeah, do not take advice from me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I mean, one thing I can do is urge you, and I've always urged everyone and anyone that does end up watching this podcast just to do your own research. And I know a lot of people say that as kind of like a disclaimer. I'm not saying that a disclaimer at all. I think everyone should do their own research, and anything that I do say, you should also take with a grain of salt. Because, you know, like I said, I'm a med tech, but I would like to say that I have researched, you know, the cryptocurrency market.
So is it kind of awesome living in the Philippines? Wait, do you have Filipino heritage, or you just happen to choose the Philippines? Okay.
No, I'm Filipino. I love the Philippines, man.
So you can break dance.
The life here is great. I mean, not only is it because the dollar goes further, but there's like a thing here in the Philippines, like that in America, I feel like sometimes it's always just like work, right?
Yeah, like Rihanna.
It's kind of like a rat race, exactly, right? But here in the Philippines, they kind of have that ability to take things lightly, sometimes to a point of detriment, though, because it's like, you know, if you have to work tomorrow morning, you'll always be able to find someone that'll go out and drink with you or have coffee with you and tell stories. So Filipinos are very personable, and so that is one thing that I will miss about the Philippines is that, you know, in the States, it's kind of somewhat sterile, man. I mean, malls are closing. Everyone buys their stuff on Amazon, watches their stuff at Netflix. They rarely leave the house unless they're going to work or do this or. But in the Philippines, we still always make time to, you know, have fun and socialize. And I think that's also why Filipinos are always late, because that's one thing that Filipinos are always known for, is being late. It's because it's like when we stop and talk to someone like we are right now, it's like we're not able to really keep everything we want to say and socialize in a specific amount of time. So it takes us longer to like get things done. But and like I said, there's advantages and disadvantages to that. But I mean, in terms of like something that I'll miss, yeah, dude, I'll definitely miss that, you know?
Nice.
So I love the Philippines.
Are you in a big city over there, or where are you at?
Yeah, I'm in Manila right now. We're actually locked down. We can't leave Manila because of the virus. Yeah, this is the epicenter in the Philippines.
So in the U.S., we're kind of at a point where anybody who wants the vaccine pretty much has gotten it, and they now have more vaccine sitting around that they're trying to incentivize people to go get vaccinated.
Yeah, I saw that. There's like a lottery. Here in the Philippines, dude, we're trying to get as many as we can. The rest of the world, see, that's the thing. And I called this a long time ago. I said, when the Philippines was like hesitant to lock down, I was like, no, we have to control this because we don't have the resources of America. Like America, let's be realistic. Not getting political, but previous president necessarily didn't do the best job. And basically threw money at the problem. And America was able to get out of it by throwing money at the problem.
Oh, we printed money. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, the rest of the world, we don't have that advantage, you know? So it's like America already pre-bought vaccines from how many different countries before vaccines were even brought into trials. Like, because they're like, okay, we'll give you $1 billion. We'll give you this amount of money. You'll give us this, so that they basically pre-ordered. But the sad thing is the rest of the world, Africa, the Philippines, India, you know, that's the next step. We need to figure out how to vaccinate the rest of the world, because the thing is it could mutate. The more people get infected outside of America, the higher the chance that it could mutate again. And then maybe that vaccine that we're currently administering now might not be as effective. So the key is America is good, but we need to vaccinate the rest of the world.
I'll be honest with you. We're at May 19th of 2021 in Las Vegas. People are walking around like it's all good. This is old news. You know, we're walking around like there ain't no problems.
God bless America, man. That's one thing I realized living in the Philippines, dude. We as Americans are very spoiled. And that's one thing that I'll always maintain. Like after living in the Philippines for 5 years, there are homeless children. Like in the US, there's no homeless children. Like and it sucks. I'm not saying that they have it, you know, they have to go to an orphanage or they have to go, you know,
go to shitty foster homes.
or they get exactly shitty foster homes. And I'm not saying that that's good. That's not optimal.
But it's better than starving on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference is here when you see people begging for money, they're like skin and bones, right? But in America, when there's people begging for money, it's like some of them are fat and overweight, and you're like, well, what the heck, right? Here, you can like, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're the only other person I've heard besides myself say that America is the only place you'll ever find overweight homeless people. You go around the world, like.
If you see a kid here that with a big belly that's begging for money, it's chances are they have parasite, and that's why their belly is like you know what I'm saying. So
is there a cure for that? Is that because we see that?
Here in the Philippines, yeah, there's different like
just in general,
albendazole for parasites.
Yeah, no, we see the starving children with the fat belly. We're like, oh, that kid's fucked, right? So there is some cure for that.
Yeah, there's medicine for that. But usually when it gets that big, sometimes it might actually require like surgery where they actually physically have to, like if it's not a huge, like there's not a lot of worms, you could take there's like different medications like albendazole and mebendazole, which will kill the worms and then you just basically poop them out. But if it gets to the point where there's like balls of them inside your intestines, like sometimes they physically have to go in there and just like remove them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, Warren Buffett. There's an easy cure to help these starving children, asshole.
Exactly. No, that's the truth. That's how I feel. That's why when it's like even "Make America Great Again," I was like, that is like the worst slogan like ever. Like you don't realize how great America already is, and you're going around and saying "Make America Great Again." It's not until you like live in a third world country and you see, like, dude,
you have a global perspective though. I think he was appealing to voters that felt. Yeah. That they were getting the short end of the stick because they ain't worried about what's going on in the Philippines. They're in West Virginia or whatever, and all they see is coal mining jobs disappearing, and they ain't paying attention to anything else.
Some of them don't even know what a Filipino is, man. I don't know how many times when I would be like, "What are you? Are you Chinese or Japanese?" It's just like the nurse thing. Like I'm Filipino. Oh, so is that Chinese or Japanese?
What kind of Chinese is that?
I'm Chinese, man. I'm Chinese, dude. Like,
I love chopsticks.
It's like, okay, fine, dude. I'm Japanese. Chinese. I just didn't want to explain to them what the Philippines is. It's like, no, we actually fought with America during World War II. We were like, allies with you guys. Like, so, but yeah. So yeah, I love the Philippines. I hope I answered that question.
No, a lot of people don't know. Philippines is OG America homie.
Yeah, it's actually I've heard it before. I need to verify it, but they say like Philippines is like America's first attempt at colony or colonialization. Now I don't know if that's true because I heard that here in the Philippines, that could just be propaganda. But they're saying
we took over California first.
Yeah. I guess you could say that California was. Or actually, anything west of
Massachusetts.
Essentially, anything west of Massachusetts or Virginia. Anything west of Virginia.
No, a lot of people don't know there's a great history of Filipinos joining our Navy. Right? There's a huge percentage of the Navy is Filipino, and that's because of World War II. After World War II, a lot of Filipinos were offered U.S. citizenship if they would just. That's what happened with my dad. So my dad enlisted so that he could be a U.S. citizen and joined the Navy. So there's a huge. That's why if you're in the Navy, you know what a Filipino is. In the Navy,
yeah. So what is
on time? Are we?
Yeah, are we?
I could talk to Jeff for hours.
10. It's up to both of you guys to some degree. It's just respecting if the roommates time wise and whatever. But it's up to you guys.
I respect Filipinos. That's what I respect. Without the Filipinos, we wouldn't have Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
Or Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Is he Pinoy?
Isn't he?
Is he?
Isn't he a quarter? Shit.
I don't know, man.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know what The Rock is. He could play like almost any race, dude.
Not Chinese.
I feel like he's like ambiguous. Like he could be Asian. He could be Indian. He could probably be. He could definitely be Hawaiian. Like you could even make an argument that he might even be part African American. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a good question, but no, I appreciate that. Like because I guess you grew up in San Diego, so you had to wait. You lived in San Diego, right?
Yeah. I grew up in San Diego. Did my high school years in Thailand. A long story.
Oh, dude. What about Thailand, dude?
Thailand's great, man. They're also a great friend to the U.S. for anybody that doesn't know. I think Thailand saw what was going down in World War II. They're like, hey, these Japanese are fucking everybody up. Hey, America, you want to land your planes here? Come on down. Like, hey, they knew early on, like, pick your bully. They're like, these Japanese, they ain't fucking around. Let's get some.
Like the older generation Filipinos, they still have like a anger, prejudice towards Japanese because of what happened during World War II, which is ironic because I love Japan, dude. Japan now is like it's phenomenal, dude. I love that place.
The transformation is insane. It's if you look at Japanese people now, that seem like the friendliest, hardworkingest, weirdest cartoon, seafood eating motherfuckers.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. I mean, like I said, like
Dwayne the Rock Johnson, is Samoan and Irish.
Whoa!
Irish.
What the? Okay, I could see the Samoan. I did not know there was Irish in there. So
Samoa.
So what was I? Oh yeah. No, I agree. Like even firsthand experience, like I've heard it before, but being there, it's like you could see they respect. Like there is no superstar. Like everyone is a cog in a machine, and they're willing to do their part in order for the greater good. And that's what I see.
In Japan.
It just it proliferates throughout their entire culture.
I mean, they got some other problems now. They seem to have going down a weird cultural side road here. They're
tentacle porns and not enough sex with real women.
Yeah,
not reproducing. They're like the oldest society by average age or something. The demographics is struggling.
Yeah,
they're not reproducing right.
Yeah, I think. Well, if you go there, they work very hard, man. And so I think a lot of it's like I wouldn't be, especially the cost of living in Japan is so high that having a child there. That's why in the States, it's like even in the States, there's not a lot of people having kids anymore. But here in the Philippines, because the cost of living isn't so high, like dude, families have like 10 kids here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like to raise a kid in America. I mean, the cost of education, college, I mean, food, everything, dude, it's expensive. And so I think a lot of people that are very career oriented, especially in the US, they kind of put having kids on hold because it's like they realize, man, this is like responsibility and an investment even. I guess you could call it an investment, but it's like
a roll of the dice.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, no, Americans are stupid enough to keep having children by accident, but apparently the Japanese have figured out how to not have accidental children.
Yeah. I mean, it's, have you've been to Japan, right? I think that was, you remember, Lem, that was one of the questions. They're like, what vacation stands out? Mm-hmm. And it's definitely, Japan is definitely, they're super friendly, man.
I spent about 12 hours in Kansai airport one time, but that doesn't really, doesn't really count.
if you go out, dude, they are the most helpful people. It's not just, I don't know, man. It's hard to put my finger on it. What is it? What aspect of Japanese culture I love the most? But it's just as a whole, they're just.
Are they super low crime?
They are super low crime, actually. Yeah, they are super low crime. I don't have the statistics on it to back it up, so I don't want to say. But I know for a fact I could leave my wallet in the middle of the street in Shibuya. I could just leave my wallet there, and someone will probably pick up the wallet and give it to me. You know what I mean?
So as long as you don't fuck with the Yakuza, you're good in Japan.
Exactly.
Everything's cool.
Well, I mean, I think every country has their crime organizations and those individuals that are always trying to make the most amount of money in the most legal or illegal manner. I don't think Japan's exempt from that. But even within their criminal organization, I think there's even a sense of honor and principle that they still follow that other organizations probably throughout the world probably don't. You know what I mean? Ooh. So it sounds weird. Criminals that have principles, but I would say that probably that Japan criminals in Japan probably have
the code of honor.
Almost a bushido, a code of honor.
They would also return your wallet.
And cut off. I know they cut their fingers and then give it if they make a mistake and all. I don't know. That's just my take on things. But but I am planning to go back to the States. Hopefully, I'll visit you guys in Vegas if you're still there. Maybe we can get together.
Got plans to get out of here?
No.
No, I just it'd be awesome. So, what made you decide to go to Vegas? Actually,
but back
how did
then,
that happen?
That's kind of true. Pussy.
Okay.
In 2000, what was it? 2010 when we did our cafe, and that didn't go well. And before that, I already met a girl here in Vegas, and then I just told her, hey, if the cafe works out, come move to San Diego. If the cafe doesn't work out, then I'm going to move back to Vegas. And the cafe didn't work out, so I moved back to Vegas. And
okay. So you had a cafe? Wait, what kind of cafe?
A bikini cafe, bikini girls cafe.
No, it was a Vietnamese coffee shop that we served Vietnamese iced coffee that was really delicious, and we happened to have waitresses wearing bikinis.
Oh, that's right. I remember that was when that was the last time I talked to you at the S2000 meeting, I was with the other S2000s. You were actually talking about that coffee shop. But I don't know if it ever came to fruition. Was it in San Diego or was it in Vegas?
San Diego.
What was it called again?
You didn't come support us. Was the problem?
It was by Mission Beach, right, or over in that area.
Point Loma, yeah.
Point Loma, right? Okay. What was it called?
Cafe Hapa.
Oh, that's right, Cafe Hapa.
I was wrong. You suck at remembering information.
Sorry, man. Sorry, I got a bad memory, dude. No, I remember going there on the grand opening. Actually, there was like a grand opening. I went there with all the S2000s.
You're just making shit up now.
No, there was a bunch of us, and there was a bunch of other car groups there too.
Okay.
Like All Wheel Junkies was there, and those are the guys that drive all the like WRXs and Evos and stuff. Yeah. So All Wheel Junkies was there. The S2000 crew was there because at the time I was the community organizer for S2KI in San Diego. So I remember like kind of organizing that. And then, yeah, you had an STI. Then when I met you again after that, you had like an STI.
Sexually transmitted infection.
Yeah.
Subaru WRX STI. That was before. I think that was before the Cafe Hoppa. That was like 2000.
Oh, that was before. Okay.
Yeah, 2006 to 2009 or something, somewhere around there.
And then, shoot, man. Okay.
So yeah,
I'm trying to remember the time frame is all messed up. I think in my mind that was a while ago, but yeah, I remember meeting you there, and then that's the Cafe Hoppa, and I remember going to like the opening, I think, or one of the nights that there was like a bunch of cars. Then after that, dude, I'm thinking, oh no, I saw you at Studio Diner, and that was it. With oh no, that was before Cafe Hoppa. I saw you with.
I don't think the details are that important.
Yeah, no, what's his name? Dat Fan. I saw you guys with Dat Fan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was I don't remember the timing of that, what year that was, but yeah. So after Cafe Hoppa, then coming to Vegas, both Em and I were able to just get our kind of feet settled per se, and then launch ourselves financially just through a bunch of work and then investment in cryptocurrency, and things have been well ever since.
Dude, that's awesome.
I just keep working.
Yeah. So no matter what I say about cryptocurrency, you guys are definitely way ahead of me. You guys are bought in when I was. Well, I guess you could say I did buy in crypto before, but I didn't use it as a means. I didn't invest in it. Bitcoin when it was like $450, but it was just so that I could transfer my money from the States to the Philippines. But you guys are ahead of the curve on me on that one. That's why it's kind of like I came in like maybe a quarter into the bull run. And I realized after doing my research that there's probably only so much money that I can make during this bull run, because it's where you really make, like, the bull run will make you money, but it's the bear market that'll make you rich. Buying in at the bear market is when you'll make the most money, because when you buy there, not during the bear market, but when you buy into the bear market and then you sit there and you hodl and you hold and you wait till the bull market comes. When that bull market comes, man, like I said, Cardano was 3 cents per Cardano per ADA, and then it went up to $2.50, 45 cents all-time high, I think, just a few days ago. So you can imagine, like, dude, what is the percentages on that, dude? Like, that's So you buy at 2 cents, and there were people that's why it's like I already knew that there was a good chance that it might drop to 1, because I was like thinking, man, if this boat is sinking, there's a lot of people that made a lot of money this year from Cardano, going from 2 cents to $2.45. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them offed it, going at $1.50, $1.40, and there was a huge drop there. So
Warren Buffett says, be greedy while others are showing fear, or be greedy when there's blood in the streets, or something like that.
When there's blood in the streets. But there's a point, like for example, that's why I haven't necessarily bought the dip just yet, because if you're buying the dip on a at the end of a bull market, not saying that this is the end of the bull market, but if you're buying the dip, it's going to keep dipping, and it's going to keep dipping, and it's going to keep dipping. So you have to realize, you have to be smart. Like I did buy the dip, like when it was dipping, I put in my buy order on Bitcoin at 43,000. I put in a buy order at 31,000 for Ethereum, and I made money on those trades.
3,100.
Yeah, but when I started seeing like the TA and technical analysis and the news and the FUD, I was kind of like, oh man, I don't think this dip is done. A lot of people thought, okay, for sure, it's not going below 43K. And then even when I sold off around 44, and I saw it dip to 43, and I saw it hit. When I saw it 43 lose its support, and it went down to 42, and then went down to 41, I was like, oh man, it's gonna 38. It's gonna, let's see if 38 holds, and then it went through 38, and then it was sitting there bouncing and bouncing. So these levels of support is basically, if you think about it, it's going down to this price. These people are willing to buy this price, and that's why it keeps bouncing. But eventually, it gets the amount of people that are willing to buy at that level, it runs out and it falls through that support level. So it's kind of like that's why if you look at it, it does like stair steps. Like it's not like it just, goes down, and like there's like different levels, because there's different levels that people are trying to buy it at. But then when you see that those levels get exhausted, it goes down to the next level. And so when I saw it drop, then when I saw it go through the 38,000 level, and it was chilling at like $36,000 per Bitcoin, I was actually we were eating Korean barbecue, me and my fiance, and I was like, this is not good. I was like, this is not good. So I was like telling her,
finish your barbecue, goddammit.
Yeah.
Hurry up and eat. Let's get out of here.
Well, no. I was pretty much, at that point, I was 75% of my portfolio was already stable. I was already in Tether. So I already had it tethered up. But she had her Polkadot in, and I was telling her that. I was telling her she should sell it.
No, I was just like, soon.
Yeah, well, I was just because it's like, that's the thing, is people that are new in cryptocurrency, when they don't realize, like I said, they don't realize the attachment that is coupled to Bitcoin. So like when these dojers were like saying, yeah, down with Bitcoin, and they were seeing Bitcoin going down, they didn't realize they were shooting themselves in the foot. So when she's sitting up on Polkadot and she sees all of these other current coins,
I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save you. You already told us this, but you're rubbing it in right now. Let's. Oh
no. I hope she doesn't see this. I'm not gonna forward her the link. But what I'm saying is, like, when you see like boats sinking, and it's not. I know there's two ways you can think. Oh yeah, everyone's just gonna jump on your boat. But I'll be honest with you, I don't see anyone going all into Polkadot. I think that there's a company or someone that had a lot of money in the game in both Solana and Polkadot that were kind of keeping it afloat. For example, with Alameda Research, which is a huge crypto, like a trading firm, I guess you can call it, in Hong Kong. I don't know if you ever heard. You can go and do your research, but Sam Bankman-Fried, definitely a billionaire in the I think he's worth like $10 billion, like in crypto. Like he's brilliant. This guy is a brilliant trader. Like he's super brilliant, and Solana is his kind of like his his coin. And so they have Alameda Research kind of backing them, which is like, so that's huge. So I think that's why, even though all the boats were sinking, Solana was kind of like staying afloat, right? And then with Polkadot, I think it's because parachain auctions are coming soon, and you need to buy a certain amount of Polkadot in order to reserve a parachain. So I think that's why Polkadot was still kind of staying afloat. But I was like telling, like, it's probably not a good idea. I think you might want to kind of get off the boat right now, and then maybe buy in at a cheaper price if it does go down further. But I was already actually wanting to like finish, eating, because I wanted to go home and kind of like, I wanted to kind of get everything ready so that I could pick up support levels that I could buy in at, so that I can like kind of scalp a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it sounds, I know it's kind of sucks, because it's kind of like I'm making money off people kind of like losing money, but it's kind of like at this point I'm kind of like trying to put like money at support levels to see if I can kind of make just a little bit or whatnot.
Well, no, you're not changing the market. You're just, the market's going to do that whether you buy or not. So
yeah, the waves are going to be there. You either decide to ride the waves or fight the waves, or just go under and go drown in the wave. You know what I mean? So I was just like, you know what? Hey, I want to get home. I want to figure out which, if I can ride some of these waves. Unfortunately, I freaking locked my stablecoin up for a full 24 hours. So that kind of sucked. But yeah, That's
Okay, final question is, what are
Yep.
you most looking forward to when you come back to the States? What's the thing you're looking forward to the most? Not Studio Diner, probably.
Studio Diner, man. Okay, no,
Place
but
is
for real,
bomb.
their
It's
Monte
delicious.
Cristos are phenomenal. I don't know if you've had their Monte Cristos there, but they are to die for, bro. Like the Monte Cristos at Studio Diner, heaven, man.
Badass.
No, but I can't wait to start working. I can't wait to, and then I'm gonna probably start going back to school to get my master's also as well, so that I can kind of work my way up. You know, I know I'm a little bit older, but I also really enjoy. It sounds weird, but I really enjoy education. I really enjoy learning, and that's
Yeah.
one thing that I told them. It's my fiance says I'm a nerd. And I am who I am, man. I feel like anything I can learn, it adds meaning to my life. It makes
great,
me a better
man.
Jeff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't mind going back to school and getting my master's, and then maybe like moving through the ranks in the laboratory. Kaiser's probably the one that I'm hoping to get a job at. My mom works at Kaiser. So yeah, I think I'm just looking forward to coming back to the States. I mean, there's things I definitely miss. I mean, believe it or not, but Chipotle is
They're pro Bitcoin.
San Diego Mexican food, carne asada fries.
Oh, you're making me hungry. That's why I have to go now.
Yeah, I miss those things. So that's another thing. I mean, I do miss that food. Like, because here it's like, dude, Mexican food is like Taco Bell. And I'm like trying to explain to them that this isn't like Mexican food.
Taco Bell with ketchup.
But at what point do I just give up and say, okay, yeah, fine, it's Mexican food? So those are the things. Food, I'm looking forward to seeing my family. I haven't seen my immediate family in a while, my nephew and my niece, and working, and then maybe going back to school. Nice. So seeing what life has to offer. And hopefully I could buy in a bit on this bear market when it does arrive, so that I can, because I'm definitely behind the curve on you guys. Like, you guys are exponentially up. I am just making do with what I can make during this bull market, No,
well, to do well since February, you said? That's great. I mean, so it's kind of like any asset market. The earlier you could have bought in, the better. But if you bought in when you could, then that's all you can do.
The beauty is, I believe, and some people, some crypto guys don't, I believe that there will be another bear market. I think it's inevitable. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, it's impossible because there's institutional buying. Are you telling me that institutions won't sell? Institutions will sell if they need to sell. They will be the first. You think that they really have this hardcore belief in Bitcoin? No, they're using it as an asset to exploit. Like, when they come over, they don't see blockchain technology as the future, even though they might say it like in some type of Reuters article or whatnot or whatever. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're here.
Okay, my bad.
Sorry.
My internet kind of cut out. Can you see me? Hear me?
Reuters
Oh no.
is
What I'm saying is
watching
that they will sell, and it's already proof. Tesla sold. Tesla sold some of their Bitcoin, and it's funny because when he saw it, they sold some of their Bitcoin. Elon Musk said, "Oh yeah, that's to prove that it could, that prove liquidity." And I was like, "Yeah, right, dude. That's like the dumbest excuse I've ever heard. Like, you need to sell millions of dollars in Bitcoin to prove liquidity? I can log in right now into Kraken exchange and sell Bitcoin and prove liquidity. Like, are you kidding me? Why do you that was just like, that was the worst. No, you sold your Bitcoin so you could turn a profit. Let's be realistic. Like, the institutions that are buying aren't buying in because they believe Satoshi Nakamoto's vision of the future is you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have that same philosophical view that like maybe some Bitcoin maxis or crypto maxis do. They're just using it as a means to turn some profit. And then, they will sell if shit hits the fan. I wouldn't be, Elon Musk tweeted Diamond Hands and said that Tesla didn't sell any Bitcoin. But we won't know until the next earnings report, until we take a look at that balance sheet. There may be no more Bitcoin left. And let's be honest, it's at $37,000 right now. They bought in at $43,000. You're telling me that they're not willing to cut their losses at a certain point? Like, if it does enter a bear market, it could retrace down to like $15,000. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think. I think institutions, it's a double-edged sword when they come to the market, because now you're bringing over these dudes that dominated the traditional markets, and now they're coming to the cryptocurrency market, and they're looking to dominate the cryptocurrency market and exploit it for what it is. Like they're just trying to like drain liquidity from people and take money from people in the cryptocurrency market. And then, hey, Tesla, they made more money in Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know now. I don't know how much they sold. I don't know what price point they sold at, but at one point they made more money in Bitcoin than they did selling Teslas, which is ridiculous. Because it's like, so what, And then you have companies like MicroStrategy. That's a little different. I think Saylor he buys into the philosophy of Bitcoin. I think he believes that blockchain is the future. And I think Saylor is different in that sense. And it makes sense because it's a software company, right? So it would make sense that a software company or software developer, like Liem, would adopt it, pretty soon. You know what I mean? Because they understand, the implications and the possibilities, while your everyday person that probably works at In-N-Out probably doesn't get or understand. And they probably, even if they did buy Doge or even if they did buy Bitcoin, they don't even understand what the blockchain is. They don't understand SHA-256. They don't even understand mining, right? Like they don't even understand what proof of work is, and nor do they want to, because they don't respect the technology itself. They just buy in.
Fine. I don't need to know how to fix an engine to drive an S2K.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No. I'm not saying that the more the merrier, right? But I guess what I'm saying is that institutions, the same thing. They don't care. But the thing is they're operating on a different level. We're not talking about, these institutions, they kind of know what they're doing. Like your average person that works at In-N-Out, they're really buying and they might hold, and there's probably a lot of them still holding. Even if it dumps down to 10 or 5 cents, they're probably going to still continue to hold. But institutions, they know what they're doing. They have thousands of analysts, technical analysts. Like you can't outdo them. They have technical analysts, everything, volume, purchases. I wouldn't be surprised if they're they're probably in it with the market makers. They probably know how many people are longing Bitcoin on leverage, what they're longing it at, where the majority of the leverage traders are, and how much money they would have to dump to liquidate a certain amount of people. They have that advantage. So like, us small fish, we're just trying to freaking ride that whale. It is what it is, though. I mean, I know some people don't believe that manipulation occurs and that everything is in the charts, because some people are like, there's no such thing as manipulation. It was in the charts. But I would argue as to say that those individuals, institutions manipulate the markets. That's why we see patterns that continue to manifest itself in foreign exchange markets and stock markets and cryptocurrency markets. Why head and shoulder patterns, why rising, why symmetrical triangles, asymmetrical triangles, why all of these patterns make sense, and why there's probabilities of things occurring, because there are people doing the same thing over and over again, whether we know it or not, whether, what I mean? So I think that's why, go ahead.
Looks like we'll have to have you for a part 4, Jeff. I'm losing steam.
Yeah.
Getting hungry.
Sorry, man. Sorry, man. All right, dude. I will let you guys go, man. I had a wonderful time. I hope I didn't talk your guys' ears off like I usually do.
No, I love your energy. You're a
definitely
great
have
guest.
a lot to say. But one thing I would like to say, if you disagree with me, I have no qualms about it, and I actually welcome any arguments. I like entertaining opposing views as well. That's why I was like, if you guys have anything that you're disagreeing with heavily, I appreciate your outlook also on Elon Musk, and I know we don't necessarily see eye to eye on that, but I do respect the guy.
He could definitely beat up.
He's a brilliant guy. Yeah, I don't want to take away, because I'm sure there's some people that might be viewing this channel or watching this podcast, and they might really like Elon Musk. And dude, he's brilliant, man. And I don't want to take anything away from that. I don't want to steer any viewers away from this channel because of I just kind of, there's some aspects of Elon Musk that kind of rub me the wrong way.
When are you coming back to the States?
We're waiting on. I'm going to apply for my clinical laboratory scientist certification in California, which would be about 3 or 4 months. And then also we're waiting on my visa, on my fiance's visa, so that she can go over to the States as well. Nice. So by the end of this year, I should be back in the States, hopefully. And then
we'll definitely see you if you can swing through Vegas. You're welcome to come hang with us.
Dude,
yeah,
Vegas, bro.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah, so Vegas, baby.
I'm sure we'll talk again.
So all right,
then.
well, it was awesome.
My man, Jeff.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you, man.
Show.
Cheers.
And,
Cheers.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.
See ya. Take care, bro.